From the producer of There's Layers to This comes a new spin-off, Layers with V Dizzle, a solo series diving into the coolest corners of the internet. We're exploring breakthrough tech, digital art, pop culture, space innovation, and more. Streaming live every Tuesday at 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Sit back, grab a snack, and enjoy the show.
Hello, everybody. It's Valerie, aka V Dizzle, with another episode of Layers with V Dizzle. Thank you so much for everyone who is tuning in. We are halfway through the season of the first season. So if you are new here, welcome. This is a show uncovering the layers of not just Web3, because there's a lot of tech that happens, especially on blockchain, but also layers within ourselves as humans, and sometimes just layers within all the coolest corners of the internet. So everything from Web3, blockchain tech, AI, and space and art, we try to cover it all here. And I'll bring up our special guest. We have Keegan, who is joining us for the first few weeks. Keegan, are you there? Can you hear me?
I'm here. How are we doing? How's it going?
Happy Doing Tuesday. Good. It is Tuesday, and that means it's Taco Toad Tuesdays, where you go have a taco and you go pet a toad. And referring to the toads is the Cryptoads up there in the corner. If you can see up there, that's Lorenzo. And this is a new solo series. This is a spinoff from another show I did previously called There's Layers to This. But now we're doing Layers with V Dizzle. So thank you so much for tuning in. A little bit about myself, if you're not familiar. I started in the crypto Web3 space back in May of 2021. Gary Vee had an NFT collection drop called VeeFriends, and I won in one of his giveaways that he did. And so my very first NFT was gifted to me from Gary himself. And on the secondary markets, people were offering me with bids that were $140,000. And so I was just blown away. I didn't understand why someone was offering me six figures for a JPEG that's on the internet. And so that kind of led me to want to dive deeper into what is really happening here with the technology. So I started a local meetup group here in San Diego called San Diego NFT Friends. And we've actually been having monthly meetups since then. So really, really love putting meetups together and having people come together and just really providing some education for people who are starting their journey in the Web3 space. And that's what this show is really about too, is to provide education and just to dive into the layers, because we know like not everyone can be online 24/7. So hoping this show helps. But other than that, what I do full time is I have an event company called Red Rug Edutainment. And so that powers the meetup group, but it also powers some of the events that I tend to have, which are workshops or side events to some of the major conferences. And before that, I was doing sports medicine. So I was doing surgery and rehabilitation with professional athletes. And then I made a complete pivot into Web3 because I understood that this technology is at its infancy, but it won't be for much longer as crypto and the technology keep getting adopted and keep going mainstream. So that's a little bit about myself, but I'll bring it over to my guest co-host, Keegan, for his intro. You're muted, Keegan.
All right, I'm unmuted. Thank you. Yes. Thanks for hosting. Thanks for having me on for these few weeks. I actually got like a little bit better setup now, so I'm a little more comfortable. So I should be able to flow with my thoughts a little bit more better. So a little bit about myself is that I'm an educator during the school year. I've been a teacher for 10 years in the classroom, and I've been a resource teacher for 4 years at the district office, so 14 years collectively. And I do everything Web3 and NFTs on the side is all a hobby. I've been building my brand Ground Game Strong, which represents showing up, being present, making an impact. And so, yeah, just going to continue to help uplift those perspectives that I think can kind of really help people in different ways, whether that's blockchain, Web3, NFTs, or just in real life, because, you know, showing up is important. And even if you're not at a level 10, even if you're at a low level, it's still meaningful. And so, yeah, just continuing to help advocate for the space where I see fit. I host a regular spaces every Tuesday at 6:30 p.m. Pacific, 10 KTF Teaching Tuesdays. And so that's my contribution to the blockchain Web3 space, and supporting people such as yourself who are authentic, who are real, who care genuinely, and want to give back as much as you can with what you have.
Well, yeah, I appreciate you giving your time to help me bring this show, kickstart it for this new solo series. It's really much appreciated because I know it's your summer break, and yeah, I appreciate it a lot. But yeah, let's get into it. Okay, so for this episode, guys, since last Tuesday, if any of you are online, you've probably seen an uptick in crypto news. There is a lot to cover. So just a heads up, I know a lot of you love the space and AI tech segments and layers of the show, but we're actually not going to cover any of that today. Today is going to be strictly Web3 because there's just way too much news and top headlines that I think are important to share and to get you prepared to set yourself up right for what may happen, right? So let's dive into it. Okay, so let me share my screen here. All right. And we've got a nice slideshow for you guys to kind of break it all down for you guys. So, okay, so there is a lot of Web3 headlines, which is why this screen is not uploading as fast. So let's start with the first headline real quick. So in some major headlines here, we see that Snoop Dogg has released some NFTs, and he released NFTs over on Telegram. And so he made 12 million in sales, which is insane. We all love Snoop Dogg. He is an OG rapper and gangster. And I grew up with his music, and super cool. He's been in the NFT Web3 blockchain space, I want to say from 2021, if not 2022. He has been actively doing things, and he's a really, really great entrepreneur. So that's some news for you there. And then next in news, let's watch this. So with Watch Guru is reporting that BlackRock's spot Bitcoin ETF is now the company's most profitable ETF. Okay, so BlackRock, as we know, has been buying a lot of Bitcoin over time, and now we know they are making money out of that more than I think their S&P 500. Keegan, feel free to like chime in any of these news, give any insights. What you see?
Yeah, I mean, like a lot of us that are on here, at least on crypto Twitter, on X, and you know, we kind of follow a lot of it like very heavily. So we see a lot of the announcements, we see people talking, we see people chatting, posting tweets, going to spaces. But now that we just see more and more in mainstream, when you see it on MSNBC, when you see it on Fox, when you see it on TV, like all these channels, like they're starting to just continually talk about it more and more. And obviously it's not at the same level like we are on the timeline, but it's just much more around. It's becoming more and more normalized. And that's just completely like going to continue to pick up more and more. And in fact, I wouldn't be surprised if it starts to take more of the spotlight from their regular programming. Now, obviously that's going to be some time down the line. Like, I think like another year, 2 years, but the fact that they're already making this traction, and when you have assets that start to be valued at like really, really high amounts, and they don't even understand why, probably some of them, I think that it's going to continue to get more and more interest, and there's going to be a lot of questions around it from everybody that's outside of our crypto Twitter bubble. And then it's going to bring more eyes, more ears, more attention, and more kind of curiosity as a whole.
Oh yeah, 100%. Literally all of the headlines that I'm going to be sharing and some of the other like layers we're going to dive into literally amplifies that message, is that like we're about to go into like gear right now where we're just gonna go like fast paced mode, like ludicrous mode, if you will. I don't know. I feel like it's gonna get crazy. Things are literally heating up right now. Want to say hello to Valerie Michaels. She's tuning in. Hello, fellow 10KTF member and friend. So thank you for tuning in. We appreciate the support. But yeah, I do agree with you, Keegan. If people don't know about it now, which I don't know how they don't, but if they don't, they've been living under a rock. I think they're about to hear more about it. So let's get more into some of the major headlines because we do have a lot. So next up, we have Brian Johnson. Okay, so this is a little AI for you guys, but he says, I'm making my health protocol available for everyone. AI first build. I'm looking for a San Francisco based CEO and CTO. I handed my health over to an algorithm years ago, and it was the best life decision I've made. So if you don't know who Brian Johnson is, he is this guy. Go check out, he has a show a documentary on Netflix, which basically takes a deep dive into him as a person and trying to reverse his age, and not just like, okay, his age, but his body age, where he's literally doing everything by the books, everything through science, and as much as possible to live a healthy lifestyle, from getting the right amount of sleep, to the right vitamins, to the exercise, to his nutrition, and blood drawn and seeing what's going on in his blood, everything. So now he wants to take that and make that accessible to everybody using AI. So, hey, if that's something you're into, if you're into health, you're into AI, and you might be, applied for this position, CEO or CTO. So go check it out. I know Keegan and I watched his show, his documentary. Really, really interesting guy. Kind of takes it to the extreme, but hey, he's dedicated his life to that. Next up in news, we have.
And I think it's a great idea. Also, too, I just want to emphasize, like, I'm a huge health proponent, health advocate, health promotion, health preventative health, like everything that he's done. Like, and some people like him, some people don't, just because they have their own reasons. I think it's really good that he's actually getting some data, getting some tests. Maybe you don't agree with everything, but being proactive in trying to take care of your health is a huge, huge valuable investment, in my opinion. And it's going to pay dividends one way or the other. And so I think that if he's taking this route, it's, you know what, he's going to probably come up with some information and some data and statistics. And then, who knows what it'll come after that. But I'm all about that.
Yeah, I agree with you. Now, I'll say I don't agree with everything that he puts out there. Like if you're into the data and the science, not all of it is, in my opinion, as data backed exactly. And that's only because I come from an academic background. So certain things have to be in order to make it like a credible study, whether it's like randomized or how many people or specimens are in a sample size, etc. So those things really make for a better peer-reviewed article and stuff like that. But that's not to say that, health is important and it should be looked at, especially with all of us being online more and more every day. Mm-hmm. And, there needs to be some balance. And Keegan and I have definitely taken a step towards having balance. We've been pretty consistent about going to the gym since this February. We kind of really committed to it. So I agree with you. And if you can use AI to push that, then I think it helps, right?
Yeah. I mean, in any way, shape, or form, I think preventative health is a huge, huge thing. It's underrated and it's not talked about enough. And the fact that he's one person that talks about it and it gets a lot of attention. I don't see a bunch of people, at least on my timeline. I don't, unfortunately, but I've been trying to and comment on different things to kind of start to shift it from time to time. But I think it's good.
I follow a lot of my health stuff over on Instagram. My Twitter is primarily for just crypto and Web3, but he will pop up from time to time because he just goes viral. And of course, he's going to use AI tech to help. So I was like, okay, we can share that. That's pretty cool. I love anyone who's trying to use the tech to push, health.
Mm-hmm.
So next up in news is Citigroup. Okay, so anyone who has Citibank knows owned by Citigroup, the third largest U.S. bank by assets, is exploring the launch of its own stablecoin. So they're just talks. We'll see. Actions are louder than words, but yeah, that's a bullish sign, I would say.
Yeah.
Okay. I was waiting for commentary. That I was like,
I mean, like I'm usually gonna lean on the side of being positive and optimistic for a lot of my takes, but I mean, I just I agree with a lot of the stuff that you're saying.
All right, and then also we have 1.1 trillion Standard Chartered Bank launches Bitcoin and crypto trading for institutional clients. So we know some big institutional clients like MicroStrategy and BlackRock, but I'm pretty sure as there's more news that's getting out there in mainstream, people are starting to feel the FOMO. And I guess I shouldn't say people, it's the institutions, right? So I think it's awesome that Standard Chartered Bank is helping so that more institutions can get in. And as they get in, we all know that there's only so much Bitcoin that is being mined every day, and so much Bitcoin that will ever be produced, and so much Bitcoin that has already been produced that there is just not enough to go around everywhere. So what's that? When there's high demand, there's going to be low supply, and it's going to drive up the price. So I think that is good signs for that.
Yeah, I mean, Bitcoin is going to continue to dominate more and more of the mind share. It's going to continue to dominate a lot of the finance sector. It's going to continue to dominate a lot of people's portfolios. And, as the years go on, the months go on, people are going to start exploring, asking questions like, your aunt, my mom, like people are going to participate at some point. It's going to happen.
Yes, it's going to happen. I agree with you there. Again, I just feel like I don't know what else more we could do, right? If you're not spending all day on crypto, we're giving you the top headlines here. So like these are signs, like maybe just buy a few dollars, few hundred, few thousand, whatever you can afford, just so you have some skin in the game, right? You're not just like absorbing the news, but you're actually trying to participate and take advantage. Because like I said, there's only so much Bitcoin to go around for everybody. So even only owning a fraction can just give you a skin in the game to maybe make some profit.
Are we on YouTube right now? Can they see it? Are we on YouTube right now too?
We are on YouTube. We're on YouTube, Abstract, and Twitter.
Okay, so make sure you guys follow VDizzle's account here, Layers with VDizzle on YouTube, and make sure you give a like or a retweet on X to get the word out. And if you're an Abstract, please, we accept Pengu at this point.
We do accept Pengu, and we will talk more about Pengu later in the show. But right now, we've got Coinbase. I noticed this last week, Coinbase has changed their username. They did a strike through Coinbase Wallet and says to be announced. And they're saying July 16th, which is tomorrow. And if you guys have been following, tomorrow is going to be their event called a new day one. It's going to be in LA, and I saw some of the speakers are going to be like Gary Vee and of course Brian Armstrong, who's leading the charge with Coinbase. So there's going to be some very big speakers there, and some after parties, it seems like. So I don't know, Coinbase is up to something. And they've been doing some teasers, but what are they doing? I have no idea. If they're crossing out Coinbase Wallet, are they rebranding? Are they gonna show some new tech outside of wallets? Like, I don't know. Do you have any thoughts? Have you seen that? Been curious about it, Keegan?
I mean, it's hard to say. Like, I don't know if it's just a rebrand or a new logo or a new name. Like, I feel like it's gonna be a big deal. Like
Mm.
I definitely haven't paid attention to it as much, or did a deep dive, or tried to explore, or tried to connect us. I like to connect a lot of dots and see different things and form my own opinion and my own kind of like perspective on what things are going to end up turning into. I just haven't done it with this, but based on like the few things that I've seen, like the way it's titled, the way it looks, like a new day, it's in summer, like crossing out the wallet. I know you mentioned that. I think you said Gary's supposed to be speaking there. Gary Vee's supposed to be
Mhm.
speaking there. Brian Armstrong, CEO, is supposed to be there. Gary also was an investor in Coinbase as well years ago. So it's interesting. I think it's gonna have something to do with content creators, like something built in. Like I don't know. Like it's hard to say. Like because I know Phantom's been making a lot of moves too. Like they've been adding some features into their kind of like wallet, and I think now that like regulation is becoming a little bit more into perspective, it's becoming a little bit more clear, at least in the United States. I think maybe they're gonna feel more comfortable, like really putting a stance on where they're gonna go and what they're gonna do, and maybe adding in new features that weren't there before. Um, we'll see.
Hmm. I mean, I'm curious when you say, oh, you think it's going to be something for like creators or content creators. You said content creators, right? Is that what you said?
Yeah, because well, if you go to the Coinbase, and I don't know if you want to pick it up, but bring it up. But if you go to the Coinbase handle and you click on the link, it shows the agenda. Like they have the agenda, and so like that's the whole section, a whole 2 hours.
The link, this link here?
No. If you go to Coinbase, just the Coinbase search.
Oh, the website.
Yeah, no. Go to the X handles. Go search and then Coinbase.
I am on the X handle, Coinbase wallet. Or you mean Coinbase itself?
Yes.
Okay.
Or base, maybe the base right there.
Base? Okay.
Yeah, base, sorry.
What are you? Where do you want me to go and I'll find it?
Maybe that's the thing. Maybe they're gonna just like consolidate everything. Like, hey, there's too
Wait,
many base.
what did you want me to show? Just their Twitter?
Yeah. Scroll down, and then where's the agenda? They just posted the agenda.
You
Scroll
want
down.
me to show the agenda? Okay, so
Yes.
here we go. Is this it?
That might be it. I know.
I can just go to their website. Their website has their agenda, if that's what you want.
Yeah, it was on their X handle. Like if you scroll down more, somewhere on there.
Here, let me go back because it's on their website. So yeah, so their event's tomorrow, 2 to 9. It's a long day.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's over there in Hollywood on Sunset Boulevard. Here are some of the speakers. Of course, Brian, we got Jesse, Gary Vee, like we said, and some other big people who are all part of Base. But yeah, this is the schedule.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Was there anything in particular?
Or I mean, just overall, like the keynote is from 3 to 4, and then state panel, the state of the creator economy, from 4 to 4:30. Like if they're highlighting that section, like I think that's kind of a tell to show where it's at, in my opinion. And it's in Hollywood, it's in Sunset. They're probably gonna make a big spectacle, I would think. And actually, the little bit of digging around that I did do yesterday when it comes to recon and research, I did go on their LinkedIn, and they have a lot of jobs that they are hiring for. There's a lot of job postings in all avenues. It's not just devs. There's community leads, there's content creators, there's all sorts of stuff on there. A lot of them are remote, and surprisingly enough, you can see like a big portion of their employees are here in San Diego as well.
This is really interesting. I'm like, where is the rest of their schedule?
Well, doors open at 2, and then keynote from 3 to 4.
Yeah, and then there's only one panel from 4 to 4:30, and then there's cocktail hour.
There might have been.
There's no other panels or talks, at least that they have so far. They're probably going to add more, but I'm just like, where's the rest of the schedule?
Well, but maybe they're focusing more on the cocktail and after party hours from 4:30 to 9 for people.
They have a few speakers, so they have to be placed somewhere. I'm just gonna guess that there's gonna be or product updates. Okay, interesting.
Right, so it's gonna be in the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
So here from the Coinbase, let's read it. Let's see what the description says. Let me see. Here from the Coinbase CEO, Brian Armstrong, creator of Base, Jesse Pollack, and the builders shaping what comes next. A new way to create, a new social network, a global economy for everyone. The next chapter of Base is coming. So they're creating a new social network. They're going to create a new platform. It's
I
not
don't
going to
know.
be.
This is really interesting.
Let's see the creators. Hold on, scroll up. What it says, creators. So panel, state of creator economy. Creators have fueled every major platform, yet most of the value remains centralized. But on-chain infrastructure is changing that. Open, decentralized, and designed for creators to earn directly. Hear from creators and what's working and what still isn't into today's creator economy. So I know that like the other, what was it, the Zora thing? Like I think a lot of people are like kind of like up in arms about that, like tokenizing everything. So maybe this is them refining it even more. Like, I mean, if they announce any type of variation, like I know Farcaster, like that has some traction. There's some support, a lot of creators on there, like their social network platform. I don't know if they're going to announce something of their own. It's a new day one, like a new way to create a new social network, a global economy for everyone. Maybe they're going to demonstrate some new stuff. Who knows?
Interesting. Yeah, I'm really curious. I mean, for them to cross out Coinbase Wallet and then are they pivoting? Okay, well, we'll let you guys know. We're planning to go up to LA, I think. At least I hope so. I have not heard back from them about whether we got access to the event or not because I applied. I applied like a month ago and then I applied again recently and I still haven't heard anything back. We even tried to get in saying, hey, we'll do some press on it, but still haven't heard anything. But I have heard back for their private party that they're gonna have, so we can at least get access to the party and maybe see what people are talking about at the party, what news came out. But yeah, very, very interesting. So I guess we'll see. We'll stay tuned. In other news, we've got Relay Protocol, which is a popular protocol where people go and they swap coins, right? Maybe swap base to Ethereum or other coins, usually with really, really low fees. But right now, they say that anyone can now contribute liquidity to Relay and earn yield in return, introducing our first on-chain vaults. So you can go check out their liquidity pool at this link. And it says your funds earn yield, enable us to rebalance faster, and provide instant liquidity to any vault supported chain on Relay. So there you go. There's just some, some ways to participate, whether, you're all about buying coins or maybe you want to fund a liquidity pool and get some yield from there. So just wanted to share that news for anyone who is curious and wanting to participate. And then lastly, in some quick headlines, is about Gary Vee. So Gary Vee has a one-of-one Superfractor autograph card, and it went to auction and sold for $55,000, making it the most expensive VeeFriends card ever. So here it is. And I know, Keegan, you've been following Gary and the VeeFriends ecosystem. Did you see this in the headlines?
Yeah, I did. I mean, I haven't spent any amount of money on a collectible like that. But I mean, it's a card. It's they're building something special. Like, I don't know if 55,000 is properly where it should be. But for some people that are collecting that, are really believing and have conviction in certain things and maybe know certain things and just, but it's something it's worth noting. I mean, you can't deny like things that are happening that are in real time and we're seeing it play out.
Yeah, I do want to say I checked out the VeeFriends NFT collection. Oh, wait, hold on. Before we move, I see a comment from Valerie. She's got the alpha. She says it's a new wallet integrated with Farcaster.
I was close. I mentioned Farcaster.
Okay. All right, there you go. Yes, this decentralized social network. So I have a profile on Farcaster, but I'm not on it actively. So
Shout
maybe
out
if I was, I would have seen this. But that's why Valerie was so great in the 10KTF community, because you got to look for clues and then you find the answers. Valerie found the clues and had the answers.
Oh, we don't even need to go now. We don't even need to go for the announcement. You just got it right here. You got it first on Layers with V Dizzle. Thanks to Valerie and Valerie. See, look at this. Valerie, correct connection.
All right, I'm bullish. I'm bullish because I hold DGen, which is Farcaster's social token. And I've been pretty down. I own like over 10,000 Farcast, 10,000 DGen. And it's been hard. It's been real tough, but there's no point for me to sell. But hey, maybe with this news, DGen goes up, because DGen was what you would use to tip people that you enjoyed following. So whether they made a post and you liked it, or they created some sort of content, you could tip them on their social platform with DGen. So, okay, they're gonna go all in on this. That is exciting.
Didn't they already have their own wallet or something like that?
I don't think Farcaster had their own wallet. I don't know. Honestly, it's kind of been a while.
I'll be honest. I haven't either. Like, I'm looking at it right now, going and checking it out. And like, I do have a bunch of notifications actually that say, it says rewards go out in 2 days. Oh no, those are just the regular rewards, I guess, that go with it. So
Valerie says a couple of her coworkers are testing the wallet now.
Oh, she didn't sign an NDA.
She does no NDA. All right. And she does hope it goes up. Thank you. Yeah, I hope so. It's been tough. So
shout out to crypto spenders. You guys gonna be at the event? We got to get it.
Yeah.
Where's Anthony? Come on.
Spenders Club. They're gonna have a presence. I don't know, but see, we should go. We should try and go. We should just try and go in general.
There's actions happening.
There's really good people over on Farcaster too, by the way. Like really great creators, authentic, like, they're real builders over there, I do have to say.
Yeah, I mean, I think that we're gonna see like a shift, like as the summer starts to wrap up and going into fall. I think there's gonna be a different momentum coming in. What do you mean, Keegan, by different momentum? Like the same people that have been here since 2021, like have participated in a lot of stuff. There's been a lot of drama, a lot of like whatever it may be. There's been some tech innovations. There's been, different projects that have done different things. But like there has to be something with like, and you've talked about this before, with like substance that's going to stick, that's going to be real, that's going to have people wanting to come and explore that are not the same people that have been here exploring. There needs to be new explorers coming in to the crypto Web3 space. And hopefully these tools and these things that are being created are going to reduce the friction and help onboard new people into this space, because you have a bunch of finance people now that were not in crypto that are like all of a sudden paying attention, but they're not going to jump through 5 different hurdles like some of us do here. They're going to be like, okay, there's a hurdle. Yeah, I'm not doing it. So it's going to have to be as frictionless as possible to bring in people that are non-crypto native or non-tech proactive learning people in order for them to participate. So if you bring the tools and the on-ramps that are smooth, that are fast, we're going to get new entrants. We're going to see it happen. And I hope that these are some of the things that we're seeing now as we go into the tail end of summer and then into fall.
Yeah, totally. And Valerie says, we will be at the base party trying to get into the conference too. It's tough. Okay, so I feel a little better. It's not just little old me. You guys have some big pool. I hope you guys get to get in. But yeah, I feel like, we have Gary up on the screen here. I was going to say before we went back to the Coinbase wallet thing, like Gary is someone in general who has had pretty good insight into understanding the markets and where things are going to be shifting. He's the one who you have been following for quite some time. And you saw that Gary Vee was switching up his content and his tone of voice, saying, hey, check out CryptoPunks, check out Ethereum, check out NFTs, check out blockchain technology, check out crypto, right? And here we are. My very first NFT was gifted to me from Gary. So to have Gary speak at this conference, he knows the creator economy better than anyone, I want to say. Like, And I mean, yeah, to have this card sold at 55,000 at his auction, I mean, those are a little bit like separate things, but a part of me kind of like wants to put it together. Like his reputation with the VeeFriends collection that he's building, what he's invested in, like that's all him knowing kind of like where the attention's gonna go to, in my opinion. And so I think VeeFriends is really underrated. I will admit, like I faded.
And you even
with
have your own opinions. Like you feel like, differently about him, how I feel
I
differently about
do.
him.
I
Enthusiasm.
do because I will say, and it's my show, so I will say it here. But I've had my feelings about Gary, where sometimes it feels like I've as a previous holder of the VeeFriend Series 1, I felt like I was being treated too much as a consumer, which was like buy this, buy this, buy this, buy this, buy this. He was constantly doing partnerships with different brands, and it was just getting to be like too much as a consumer, right? I love all the partnerships he was doing with Crocs, Masters of the Universe, Jeff Staples. Like he's done so many, so hard to name them all, like Squishmallows. But he has the right connections, he has the right network. But I kind of felt like, oh, it was a bit too much consumerism for me. And that's fine. Like I took a step back from that. But I do acknowledge the network he has. I do acknowledge the experience he has. I do acknowledge the different iterations of the internet and technology that he's seen in his day, right? He's a little bit older than me, so he has more insight to that. And so like for him to have been an early investor in Coinbase, and he's going to be speaking at Coinbase. I mean, Gary Vee is the guy who knows markets and the creator economy. So, all right, that makes me really, really excited to know though about this Coinbase wallet integrating with Farcaster.
Yeah, I think we need something, again, meaningful, impactful, that is like not vaporware, that's like actually going to help change some of like how the space is run. But it doesn't
Yeah.
happen just by like, by hope. Like people proactively have to build and close loops and connect the right people, be on the right team, and not everybody can do that. But if there's groups that can do that and they can bring in the right talent and they have enough like humility to like know that like, hey, this is not my strength, I need to go and get someone who can actually do this. So I hope we see some of that, because I think like this space is due for something like that. Because if it continues like another 4 years how it has, like with a lot of like stifling, like on off, it's just not going to grow at the levels that we may hope it will. So
Well, I mean, something that I didn't put in the headlines, I kind of forgot, but I forget her full name, Linda, right? Who was previously the CEO of X.
Yeah.
She has stepped down as CEO of X. And as we know, X is trying to be the everything app, and has been trying to pay out creators for people who are going viral and getting a lot of engagement. People are getting paid on X, right? But who is going to rival that, right? Who is going to be the competitor? So Farcaster, being a decentralized social media platform, could be potentially in its early phases of being a competitor down the road. You never know.
Yeah, and I guess we'll have to see. And I remember like when I talked about that with her, like she was at the Cannes Festival, I think, and she was saying they have a lot of new integration things coming into the platform with payments, supporting streaming, like different things. So I wouldn't be surprised if we start to see more big shifts, like big cultural norms coming to platforms, to the crypto rails, the crypto experience.
Yeah, I mean, we've said it before. These young kids, they're becoming digital creators. It used to be laughed at and made fun of, like, oh, you want to be a YouTuber? That's gonna be your career. You're gonna go viral on Instagram, with your fitness photos. And look now, like 10 years, and people are having jobs as content creators nowadays, Twitch streamers, they're making money, so it just makes sense. This is a new way of people making money.
I want to add one more thing, and then we can move on. So,
Yeah.
in Gary Vee's first book, I believe it was one of his first books. It was Crush It. He talked about what you just said, how like in the future, and this was before all the platforms like came out. I think YouTube maybe had just come out, and he talks about how like creators are going to make this money, sponsors are going to come in, marketing is going to come in. Before it was normalized, now how it is.
Crazy. Yeah.
And that book was out, and he got a lot of like criticism and flack for it. And so it's crazy to have that as a reference point to see that like this is what the future can hold, and here's how it can be utilized, and here's like there's going to be a lot of like finance and money that rolls through it.
Yeah.
But when it's new, it's like so foreign for people to conceptually connect dots and make sense of things because it's a new thing. And it's the same thing with AI. It's the same thing with AI.
And there's fear. Yeah.
And it's the same thing that happened then. It's going to be the same thing that's happening with AI, in my opinion. And it's going to be social shopping is going to be another thing too. So
yeah, a lot of people, just I feel like the news likes to go with the negative first. They're always very negative about like something that's new and is it going to ruin the young generation's minds? Is it going to like take over? Blah, blah, blah. But it's going to come whether they want it to or not. Like the technology is just growing so fast. It's unstoppable. You can't stop it. Just like AI. AI is here. It's here to stay. Crypto and blockchain, it's here to stay. But like, look where we're headed now with like us as a U.S. government with regulation and just like even global economy, El Salvador adopting crypto, as their payment, their money system. And so AI is catching up too as well. So it's just like, this creator economy with like, people being on live streams, video content, writing content, like that's just what's going to be the norm. Everyone is consuming their news that way anyways, their information. No one's really watching like television anymore these days, so it makes sense. But yeah, let's move on in some of the news now. So here's some other quick headlines that I saw was that Robinhood officially launches ETH and Solana staking in the U.S. So I know for a while, we were kind of banned here in the U.S. We weren't able to stake. But I think with things that are going on in the government, in the Senate, and in the House, they're feeling a little bit more comfortable now. And so Robinhood is taking the charge there and allowing people to stake, which I think is amazing. So I think we're going to see more platforms similar to Robinhood also do that, but someone has to take the leap first. And Robinhood went ahead and did it. And then I thought this was kind of like a funny tweet that I saw from Watch Guru saying that German government's decision to sell 50,000 Bitcoin at 54,000 cost them 3.1 billion in missed profits. And that was posted in July 10th. And I did the calculations fast forwarding 5 days to today. And they have missed out now on $5.8 billion in missed profits, I believe it is. So, yeah.
You think somebody loses their job from that? You think like there was one person or three people that said, no, we should sell. Let's got Dave, Steve, Brian, like let's sell. Yeah, okay. They run the over, get a final. Okay, yeah, sell. Someone's there doing it on their ledger.
I think whoever like led that charge was probably like maybe not as credible anymore. Like whoever was bearish on it, like no, we need to sell now. Like they may need to hire a new analysis person who kind of understands the market a little better.
Because they got a lot of critique. I remember that was all over the timeline for a while. And then I never really remember seeing anything like, oh, they bought back in. Like I never saw anything like that. But I definitely remember them saying like, oh, they sold off at this. And so now for it to come back around like this and then start to see these numbers, I'm sure the leadership over there doesn't feel very good about, all the people that were leading that steering group. So whatever.
Yeah, I don't think so. I don't think they're feeling that great at all. But hey, if you feel if you relate to this, because maybe you're someone who sold also, right? Not saying you had 50,000 Bitcoin, but maybe you had a fraction of a Bitcoin and you sold and you don't have skin in the game. Well, yes, we know that Bitcoin hit all-time highs, but it may hit all-time highs again, and then again, a new all-time high. So, once it hits 250,000, this all-time high today at 123,000, I think it went up to, doesn't look so bad. So just the best time to start is now, okay? So you can restart. Just get a little bit, whatever you can. Don't spend your rent money. Don't spend your child support. Spend money that you can afford to lose, because crypto is volatile. But Bitcoin has been one of the most promising, and it's the first crypto, so it makes sense. So yeah, I thought that was kind of funny to share. And then lastly, I got this from today, Caffeine, which is an up and coming AI platform that is being built over on ICP, the Internet Computer Protocol. They had Dom, who is the founder of Caffeine, CEO, and he was talking today about some of the stuff that they're going to be releasing. And the alpha is officially launching tomorrow. So invite codes will be released on a rolling basis. So if you want to be among the first to build apps just by talking with the Caffeine AI, you can go and apply. So let me click the link so you can kind of check it out. But I signed up. I think, Keegan, you signed up a while ago, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think there was a sign up. I think I'll apply again. But I remember there was no link when I remember when I watched the first debut, when he first debuted it, and that was after Vegas, and we had talked to our friends from ICP, and I remember I got some of the details, but they didn't even have invite codes yet at the time either. So right. I want to check this out. I think it's going to be a big deal.
Yes. So you can go sign up now. I just went and signed up, and they're gonna be launching these invite codes in batches. So I don't think I was one of the first to sign up, but fingers crossed that I'll get first access and check it out. I don't know what kind of app I'm gonna try to build or what, but I'm gonna try to interact with the AI and talk to it, describe it, what I'm thinking about, and see what it can produce. Because there's already some AIs out there that can kind of do it, but it still needs improvement. So we'll see where Caffeine AI kind of lands in that spectrum of these types of AIs, where you're basically vibe coding, but rather than typing it, you can speak to it. So makes it a little bit easier for people. Mm-hmm. So we'll stay tuned with that. So next up in some of the Web3 news and alpha is these posts. I don't know if it's going to generate. There we go. So here we go. So this is all about SharpLink Gaming. Okay. So just in, publicly traded SharpLink Gaming buys another 5,188 ETH worth $15.82 million from Coinbase Prime. And so Michael K, who's our good friend, who started working with Wallet Guard, and then they were bought out by Consensus, and then now is working with MetaMask. He says our co-founder, Ethereum Joseph, chairman of SharpLink Gaming, has been stacking ETH to the point where holdings have surpassed Ethereum Foundation itself, over 280,000 ETH. The ticker is SBET. Do with this information what you will, and have a good morning. And then straight from SBT, they say, in addition to becoming the largest ETH holder among corporate entities, SharpLink raised approximately $413 million in net proceeds through its ATM program between July 7th through 11th. Of that total, approximately $156 million has already been deployed on ETH, with approximately $257 million in capital still available for future. Let me continue that tweet. Let me load it. For future, where was I? For future Ethereum acquisitions, we remain committed to transparent, best-in-class treasury reporting. So, Keegan, any thoughts on that? Did you see this on your timeline?
Yeah, and so for this, like, which one? Can you go back to the slide?
Yes.
So yeah, so this is a big deal. So why is it a big deal, Keegan? So my understanding of this is that SharpLink is trying to do what MicroStrategy has done with Bitcoin. And so basically, they are trying to accumulate as much as possible and just create this basically like a, I don't know, like a holdings group, like just have stocks, have shares, like all this stuff. And so once they start accumulating all this ETH, they want to have it on the books for their business, because now it's becoming much more friendlier here in the US. And so what MicroStrategy has done with Michael Saylor and collecting Bitcoin and all their stocks, basically, if you can't afford Bitcoin, then you buy their stocks. And so as they start to accumulate more Bitcoin, the value of their stocks go up. So that's my understanding of what they are attempting to do. And I only know part of that analysis is because on the next slide, when we get to it, OSF and his group, they do a show, and they talked about this exact thing. They talked about SharpLink, and they talked about what they're trying to do by accumulating all this Ethereum, and what they think, if it's going to work, if it's going to be the same thing. Ethereum and Bitcoin are fundamentally two different things in how they function, what they do, but they are becoming the assets that are going to be on the balance sheets of businesses. And so when you have those assets on the balance sheets, you have value, you have some stability, you have some leverage. And so again, I think as far as the United States goes, this is going to become more normalized. And I think we're going to see more companies try and do this. I just think they're the first ones that are really making a push to try and do it with Ethereum. So for them to make, for Mikey, who we know actually, like, he's a homie. We've met him multiple times. He's very smart, very on pulse. Someone I trust.
Mm-hmm.
He said that for him to say that, for them to make that statement, though, they have more than the Ethereum Foundation. Like, again,
so FYI,
Vitalik
and the Ethereum Foundation, they've accumulated more. So yeah, I think it makes sense, because I feel like maybe we should go on to the next slide, if you're saying it's gonna be there. Because it does relate to this conversation, and this is a conversation that I actually was really, really excited to have, because I've been taking more. Oh, it's not. This is a Pudgy Penguin.
Oh, I guess it got moved again.
Oh, wait. Hold on. Let me make sure I didn't skip it. Wait. Because, okay, where are we? We're here. Pudgy Penguin.
Oh, no, okay. Yeah, no, I didn't. Yeah, there you go.
Okay, you didn't move it. Okay, it's okay. All right, I'll just move it. Here we go. Okay, so, this has been really exciting topic for me, because this is now like my first full cycle, right? We came in 2021, and we came in through the hypes of NFTs, right? We had Top Shots. We had all of these projects on Ethereum launching, like Pudgy Penguins, VeeFriends, Cool Cats, Bored Apes. And they went like crazy, right? In price. They were just worth thousands and thousands of dollars. And so us being new, especially me, not really thinking about it, I thought like, oh, this is normal. Things just keep going up. But as the saying goes, what goes up must come down, right? So, you switched some stuff. Oh, no, it's over here. Okay, cool. Okay, but yeah, so what I'm saying is that, like, now that I've seen a full cycle and kind of understand like how like NFTs moved, and then now I've kind of seen also how crypto moves, to my understanding, when Bitcoin goes to new all-time highs, and you've probably seen a lot on the timeline saying like, oh, Bitcoin was in price discovery, right? People and investors, right? Big institutions, and also what they call retail investors. Retail investors are people just like you and I, the normal people who are buying little bits of crypto. As retail investors come in, Bitcoin is trying to see like, okay, where do we feel comfortable where Bitcoin is priced, right? And so the highest we've seen is $123,091.61. I have it there on the slide. And so from there, people, of course, are going to take profits. People are going to start pulling back. And what do they do with those profits? They go and put them in altcoins like Ethereum, like Solana, like XRP. So I think for them to go and have more Ethereum than the foundation itself has, I think is a bullish signal, because I think they know that there's going to be another leader in the ranks besides Bitcoin. So I think they're betting on Ethereum.
Yeah, I mean, the functionality of them are different. Like, to have a smart contract, that can be utilized on Ethereum, that's fundamentally different. And people can say whatever they want right now, like, oh, but there's inscriptions and there's ordinal. Like, that's one thing. But I mean, what Ethereum can do, like, there's all these, dApps that are being built on top of it, like, over the years, and like anybody that's participated and explored just a little bit, it's different. Like, so on top of that, you have layer 2s that are built on top of it, Abstract, Ape Chain, all sorts of different groups. Yeah, so I don't want to get too sidetracked, but I think this is good and healthy for the space, because there are signs that it's becoming more serious. It's becoming more valued, where people are willing to invest like this.
Yeah, I think that with Bitcoin going up so high, and it's only going to get higher, is that it's going to get harder and harder for regular people like you and I to afford any amount of Bitcoin. And so there needs to be another coin after that, where there's more room for people to grow and to buy. And so I think the talk there is that Ethereum has more room there to grow. And it certainly does, with its price point at a little over 3,000, almost 4,000, very much more affordable than Bitcoin at its all-time high. So yeah, let's see what else is in this news here. So we've got NFL player here. He was getting some slack way before about asking his payments to be in Bitcoin. But he said today that NFL wide receiver Odell Beckham Jr. says, so Bitcoin is at an all-time high today. Safe to say we still happy with our decision to be paid in Bitcoin. So so that must felt really, really good for him to like stick it to the people that were against him for doing that. And then I see we have a tweet here. I think, Keegan, you added this. We talked about it a little bit with Snoop Dogg, right?
Oh, yeah.
Did you want to read that?
Yeah, so this is from the CEO of Telegram, Pavel. Like, he's an interesting character. Like, he's a billionaire, I believe, and he also has multiple kids with multiple women, but that's a side factor. Like, he's still CEO. Anyway, on Telegram. So referring to the topic here, I don't have nothing against him. He seems fine, whatever. Anyway, looking at this topic back to Snoop Dogg's digitals, and so he tweeted this out. This was a few days ago. Snoop Dogg's digital collectibles drop on Telegram, sold out in just 30 minutes. 30 minutes, generating 12 million in sales, as Valerie showed the tweet earlier in the slideshow. Nearly 1 million unique NFTs inspired by Snoop Dogg's iconic style. Blockchain minting, and the secondary market goes live in 21 days. It's going to be wild. So I for sure have talked about the freaking Telegram stuff for the past few weeks. And then this happens with Snoop Dogg. Now, mind you, the Keegan is Snoop Dogg. Yes, I understand this is Snoop Dogg. Like, he has a global presence. He is a known person. He has a following. He's done a lot of stuff. He has made a lot of music. He's a brand in himself. He is a first mover though. Also, let's also emphasize that, which I think you touched on too. He has a Bored Ape. He put it on ice cream. He put I think it was put on Skechers shoes. Like, and people can criticize, well, oh, that's dumb, this and that. Like, but he's still trying different things. Not afraid to hear flack or negative or positive. It's still trying, doing something, proactively participating. He's proactively participating here on Telegram, and it brought in 12 million in 30 minutes. I've never done that. You haven't done that. I'm pretty sure there's probably nobody in the audience that's done that, as a matter of fact. But also, shout out to the people that have been adding me as a follow on Abstract, like 10 of you, appreciate, or 8 of you, appreciate that. But point being, now I can say that I have not firsthand done the participation of buying the gold stars, which is like the currency which is within Telegram, in order to purchase these stickers, which are NFTs on TON blockchain. And so what I did though today was participate in a Telegram minting NFT project from our good friend Bad Teeth, pretty prominent member of the Bored Ape Yacht Club, in my opinion. He's someone I trust, someone who's a friend, who definitely has been very authentic and nice and genuine to us. Was also part of the 10KTF group as well for a while. But his project, I forget, I don't know how to pronounce the name. It's at W_tomorrow_. Basically, you mint the NFT within the Telegram app, and then it can show up in Magic Eden. And so they use the Privy wallet, which is embedded within the Telegram. And so you can send ApeCoin into there, and then you can mint through that. So it's storytelling. So you basically choose your adventure in the Telegram story. And then at one point in the adventure, you're able to claim this digital artifact and you're able to mint it. And so I think it's pretty unique. And I think because it's in one place, it's not getting lost in the timeline. Like if you have like 1 million followers and they're like following you in Telegram, even 10,000 followers, like, and you have just a small percentage of people wanting to participate, that's still people giving energy, giving time, giving their money to an extent. And so I think this is going to be a thing. I think this is not going to go away. I could see this being a bigger deal. It is, I will say, full disclosure, I will say it is not as smooth. I talked about friction earlier and how there needs to be a lot less friction. There was a lot of friction in this, in my opinion, at least from how I was kind of going through the process. There was a lot, but it could be the learning curve. Like there's definitely a learning curve to know where to click, what to do, just like anything new. And for me, I don't use Telegram regularly, so I think that's also partly on my side. There's some people that use Telegram heavily. Like I know you use Telegram heavily, B-Dizzle. I know there's a lot of people in the audience that use Telegram heavily. I do not use it in my day-to-day. So there is some learning curve. I do think there is a creative upside with this, and I could see this being a much bigger deal. This thing with Snoop Dogg, I do think is a tell also.
So one key thing here, in response to the friction, is that I have tried to use the Telegram wallet, and if you have your phone number tied to Telegram, which I do, and it's a US based phone number, which US starts with a 1, right? So Telegram restricts you from using their wallet. So it is currently banned here in the US. You cannot participate. So if you know workarounds and you live in the US, then you may be able to see some of the stuff that is happening over there. Because there's been quite a few drops that have happened over there on Telegram and NFTs. But I do agree with you. I think this is kind of like we're seeing kind of people pay attention to that. But I think it's still such a small group of people because not everyone has figured out how to get a wallet. Is it available in their country that they live in? Because that was one of my friction points. And I just haven't gone back to like try to figure out how do I get around that, right? Because it takes some time, whether you use a VPN or you tie your Telegram to something else. I don't know, what are the options, but clearly there is some room for growth here. They're finding success, both the creators like Snoop Dogg releasing NFTs and people who are buying them and profiting off of them, right? So
It's just it's in its infancy. Like, just
yeah.
in my opinion, it's in its infancy. Like, and I don't know if it's different based on Bad Teats project and how it was like built out using the Privy wallet. I don't know if that was different compared to like the other sticker stuff. Like, I can't speak too in depth on that. I just am seeing the signals of what's happening right now,
Yeah.
and $12 million in 30 minutes. Like,
I
those
haven't
those
seen
are
this signal of the Telegram wallet since last year. There was a lot of hype around like Ordinal still at the time, but
Mhm.
right around that time, so people were looking at Ton and Telegram. So I think some of those people who like learned it back then a year ago, they're being able
and
to have an advantage here.
And so one thing too that I definitely think is a missing piece in this puzzle is the secondary marketplaces. Like, there is some, like, at least what my exploration with the stickers and how they traded. I know Bored Ape Yacht Club had a release a couple weeks ago now, I think,
Mhm.
and you can kind of see the secondary market. It's not as intuitive as you would see like now on OpenSea, but like if you think back when we first came in 2021, like OpenSea was a dominant force. Like, there was no real like Magic Eden yet. There was no Blur yet. Like, there was no other like big players. Like,
Mhm.
and so this is the same thing. Like, it's new tech being built out. Like, that's why for them, like, I don't know if in this case, like, I don't even know what marketplace this is going to be on. Like, but when it says like, oh, it's going to go live on secondary in 21 days, that means that this is going to allow it to like dip down, like, or whatever it be priced. Like, I don't know how much they bought them for, but 21-day delay offset to start selling on secondary, they have to be making some better infrastructure, I would think, on Telegram. And for the
Yeah,
CEO
and build the hype.
to highlight Snoop Dogg, like, you're getting a lot of eyes, you're getting a lot of ears, you're getting a lot of attention. Like, this is going to be a thing, I think.
I think this might be far fetched, but I think that eventually these assets on Telegram could be used for games on Telegram. I have heard a lot about how games make so much money on Telegram. And I didn't even know you could play games on
Yeah,
Telegram until about like a year ago. And I know like a project like Oniforce, there was a community member in there who was like doing some heavy research into that and planning to build a game in Telegram. It doesn't cost a lot of money from what I hear as far as like the dev standpoint, and so there's just a lot more potential for gains on that aspect as well. So to start off with the NFTs or stickers and just sell these, and then potentially like have them be used in these games, maybe rewards. Maybe that's something I'm thinking could lead to. I don't know, just speculation. But
so, and then also just to add to that part too, like, I believe Pudgy Penguins has a game coming out in Telegram as well. This is separate from their other one.
from their Apple one.
Yeah, this is separate from
Oh,
that. So
wow.
I believe in anybody in the chat or someone in the audience, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's something I remember reading. And they have also had multiple sticker pack drops, two of them, I think.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so think about this. So if we're connecting dots, like, I feel like I should do a show like connecting the dots. Like, if we're thinking about like this, right? Telegram is going to be this place, this hub where NFTs, stickers, digital assets that are on the Tom blockchain, bigger picture, right? In this case,
Mhm.
also too, you were able to, for what I was able to do through Bad Teats project, the Tomorrow one, it's on Ape Chain. So if imagine you go to Telegram, you go through the adventure, you mint this digital artifact, it's now on Ape Chain. Now, if we take in the Somnia element, now you have this digital artifact that came from in Telegram on Ape Chain, and then it comes into a metaverse world in like Somnia and other space. All of a sudden, these little pieces of tools and items and artifacts can be used in the 3D side. But Keegan, you need to have the 3D assets built out. Yes, I understand that, but it's possible. It is possible. Like, if you had people that were like diehard fans, okay, you can only get these by going here, and now you can go here and get these items, and then you can bring them to this other place. Somnia has the capability to do that. If you can make these bridges connect,
Or
I
there's
think
interoperability.
right. I think that we could see some really cool creative stuff. But again, it's going to take
Wait,
the right.
so have you seen that? Sorry, maybe I wasn't following. I got a little confused there because you're saying, okay, if you go and mint these collectibles on Telegram on Ape Chain.
No, it hasn't happened yet. I'm just saying, like, in theory.
In
I mean,
theory, if it happens, okay. Because I was like, wait, on Ape Chain.
The furthest I've seen of something of that is like with Forgotten Runes. You have your NFT that's in like, you know, a 2D form. They made the 3D form. You can play it in the 2D game, but you can also bring it into the metaverse on Somnia experiences in the 3D form factor with that same digital asset. That
Hey, I want to say Grills Gang. Throw Grills Gang. Grills
Gang too. Yeah, shout out to Directive Creator. It's the same concept. Like, you take the grills, you have a straight image that is 2D. It can be played in 3D interoperable games or 2D interoperable games.
Well, you have to have the files, right? That's why he's been able to have success there. Because, I mean, Directive Creator, I mean, shout out to him, man. Like, he's been able to take these NFTs called the Grills Gang. It's his collection. And they were on Ethereum. And he's been able to, like, put out all these different files that you can go and have 3D assets of them to go play Insomnia type of games, right? And also improbable experiences. So, yeah, I mean, it takes a lot of work. Directive Creator, you know, he loves it. He loves it.
And that's why I say, like, these are things in theory, but I think, like, there are individuals in this space that have the vision that can see how to connect the dots and build those bridges and see into the future. Like, imagine these ones in front of us right now, these Snoop Dogg ones become 3D assets that you can carry. Like, imagine like Fortnite on your backpack, like, and you're in like this area. Like, it's not that far-fetched. It's not that far-fetched. And the tech is almost there where it's doable. Like, but are the builders going to be building on that avenue?
Yeah.
You know, that's where, you know, the rubber meets the road. But I do think that this is like going to be something that it's going to be around. Don't get me started on 10KTF because
we're headed there. That's why I was like, all right, let me go back to the slide because we can go down this rabbit hole and we've already passed the hour, but we're gonna keep going because this is really, really good conversation and hopefully you're finding some value in this. If you are, please head over to YouTube, search Layers with V Dizzle, and I would really appreciate if you go and subscribe over there. Just trying to, you know, build out the YouTube channel and share it out to your friends and family because we are following the trends that we are seeing, right? We've already talked about Bitcoin hitting an all-time high. We've talked about some assets, you know, minting out over on Telegram. We've seen some institutions buy up Bitcoin. And now we've also talked about Ethereum as well. You know, these are trends that are happening. And so if you see these trends early on, you're able to capitalize on them. And so someone who's really, really good at doing that is OSF. And he made this tweet, and Keegan and I both saw this. And I'm gonna read the whole thing. Do you think I should read it? Because I think it's such a good tweet.
I think if you zoom it up, I mean, what I always like to do when I read is that I highlight it as I'm reading it so people can see where I'm at. But I don't know if you just want to read it. Yeah, zoomed up will probably be good.
Yeah. Okay. So he says OSF. Okay. So he, you know, CEO, co-founder of Rekt Drinks. We've talked about Rekt. Full disclosure, I hold Rekt coin. Okay. But besides that, he's just a phenomenal builder and thinker in the space. Okay. So he is really someone who is good to watch, as he also has experience in the traditional finance and has used that experience and brought it over to the crypto markets. Okay. So he has really good insights.
Also a great artist. Also, I interviewed him in Miami 2022, way back when. Just going to get some credit. Also, full disclosure, I'm a Rekt holder of the token.
Okay.
I'm a Rekt billionaire now, actually, as a matter of fact. Shout out to them.
Wait, you have $1 billion in Rekt?
Rekt tokens, yeah.
Yeah. I don't even know how much I have. I just know the monetary value. I have like $300 worth. So I don't know how many that is in Rekt, but yes.
They're underrated. They're underrated so much. It's ridiculous.
But this is a good thing for you who are listening, because Get it while it's low, not while it's high and there's a
Not
lot of
financial advice. Not financial advice.
not
But there,
financial advice, but we are here providing the education for you to make these decisions.
and so
That's all I'm saying.
before you read it, like I just want to say like one other thing, and then I'm gonna take a break here too and let you do that. But like this tweet was from what I just want to see the date, what it was. So when I saw this on like July 11th, so that was just barely 4 days ago, which is like basically 2 weeks in crypto time, but it's only like 4 days.
I know.
I and it's a very lengthy tweet, and he's very again on the pulse. He does due diligence. He spends time. He's very open, very honest. His face is out there. His first name is Ovi. Like real, in my opinion, authentic builder that cares about the space and cares about quality. And so I've seen a couple different tweets from kind of bigger accounts of people that I follow, like, you know, over the past few years. And he was the first one to kind of put it out there like this, like you could feel something was brewing.
Yes.
And this was before Bitcoin hit the all-time high. Which
Let me read it.
So read this is just the preface. So go ahead. Sorry.
Because I want to say a lot about this tweet too. I know we both feel the same. So let me just read it and then we can get into it. Okay. So this is OSF tweeting on July 11th. Okay. So just 4 days ago. Okay. So he says, okay, listen to me. You don't get these opportunities very often. And if you play them well, they can literally change your whole life. I feel like I've put out a tweet like this a handful of times in the past few years. 1, NFT boom in 2021. 2, the resurgence of crypto in late 2023. 3, the meme coin boom in early 2024. And 4, now. If you're like me to this shit, glued to this shit 24/7, so I'm asking you to take a step back and think about it. We're sitting here with Bitcoin in full price discovery mode, while alts memes are down 60 to 90% from their highs. Okay, we already talked about that, the price discovery mode. Are we going to get a full-blown alt season like 2021? I don't know. I'm of the view that it's more likely than not, but I think the probability of it is too meaty to ignore. Will it be every single altcoin? Probably not, but it's not too hard to pick things that are sort of guaranteed to rally with the market. You have a unique opportunity now to take risk on trades that have a 10x potential. When this stuff moves, it will move extremely aggressively, and you'll get like a 25 to 75% candles. The volatility will be crazy, and it will be very difficult to catch if you're waiting for confirmation. If you want to stop being a little wimp and actually take a shot, then you have to take some risk. I'm not telling you this is a guaranteed win or a guaranteed trade. I'm not telling you you won't lose money, but I am telling you it's a good fucking bet. And it's on par with the aforementioned 3 bets I've taken in size in the last few years, which have changed my life, and many others who chose to take that bet. Now is not the time to sit around trying to think of every possible bear case, or be timid, or look at charts and wait for random confirmations. If you want a shot at the big leagues, you need to have risk on now. Because like I said, if things do move and we do see the slightest hint of an alt season, things will absolutely teleport. The market has way too much PTSD of the last few years and just wants to fade everything. It almost has zero respect for how crazy things can get, especially if ETH starts moving higher. There is a lot of crypto native capital out there that will activate and want to degen. We don't need retail, and it can be in massive size. People forget how quickly and sharply things can move. Everyone is stuck in this, oh my God, 100 million market cap is a big number mentality. You need to recalibrate your brain to 10x that number. Set your base level much, much higher. Again, I am reiterating, it's not a guaranteed win, but you don't make extraordinary wealth without taking meaningful risk. And my view is that it is a good spot to do so. Coin selection is 100% paramount. And if you don't know what to pick, then stick to majors or projects that are run by teams who are doing the right thing, such as hype. I will take a paragraph to push Rect again. Just do me a favor and spend a few minutes looking at it. We have done things the right way. We will continue to do the right things the right way. Unlike other big opportunity moments in crypto where I spent most of my time trading, this time I'm spending all of my time on Rect, and I'm going to ensure it's up there with the great stories of 2025. So just do me a favor and at least spend 5 minutes to have a look and make your own decision. But regardless of Rect, I genuinely do believe this is one of those points of inflection where stuff can get absolutely crazy. I've been calling for the lovely summer of risk, and we are in the thick of it now. Now is the time to go on your Now is not the time to go on your summer holiday or sit by the beach drinking a cocktail. It's that moment where you gotta lock the fuck in and tighten your screws on coin selection and positioning. Even if the probability of what I'm saying is just 25%, you still want to take that bet because you're looking at down 20 to 30% versus 10x plus scenarios. Try not to rotate too much. Find coins you believe in and hold them as 70 to 80% of your portfolio and spend the rest degenning. There will be some days where other coins are up way more than yours. Don't worry. If you have the right stuff, they will catch up anyway. Don't get hellbent on owning the best performing coin of each day or you will chop yourself up. You don't get these opportunities all the time, but when you do, you gotta take the shot because what's worse, losing a bit of money or knowing that you could have made millions? Good luck. 87,000 views, bro. Like 232 tweets, 1.3 thousand likes, 360 bookmarks, okay? Like, what a fantastic tweet by OSF. And I'm listening.
It's very inspiring.
I'm listening to this tweet. I went over to ChatGPT. I used ChatGPT and I basically told it how much I hold in my portfolio, where Bitcoin is at its all-time high. I asked it what it thinks I should take out as profit and where should I use that profit to put into altcoins and then into meme coins and then back to stable coins. And it gave me a breakdown of 60% here, 30% here, 10% here, and blah, blah, blah. So it gave me some of the few like top performing altcoins. So we have things that I've mentioned already in the show, like we have Ethereum. We've talked about Ethereum. We saw, what was it? Shark Gaming, who was holding the most Ethereum, more than Ethereum Foundation itself.
SharpLink. Yeah.
What is it?
SharpLink.
Yeah, SharpLink Gaming. And they're going in on Ethereum. OSF is obviously in on Ethereum. There's a lot of big players. And OSF is saying you don't need the retail investors, right? Just normal people like you and I. You just need a few big players to play, and these prices go up like crazy. And so, yeah, there's Ethereum, there's things like Solana, XRP, and then if you want to look at Doge, if you want to look at Pepe, right? Those are some of the things that have shown community around those, and they're just kind of staples
I
in
know
our
Sui too. Sui, I know, is definitely has a lot of upside.
So those are
Wow.
newer ones like Sui and Aptos, right? They haven't been around as long, but those are also good things to look at. So OSF is saying look at Hype, and of course look at Rect. But there is major potential for these things to just go crazy, like he said. And I have seen him tweet these things before in the past. I have seen other people, and I have been in the trenches before, and I've seen it. But he's so right. Like, try not to alternate too much. Like, stick to a handful, right? Depending like how much money you're okay with using and playing with. But have a game plan. Pick a few, have a game plan, and stick to it, because like you said, you're not gonna catch the best performing coin every single day. You're gonna rotate in, you're gonna rotate out, you're gonna spend transaction fees, you're gonna get rugged, like you're gonna end up losing your money. So just pick some of like the ones that you like. Do they have a good team around it? What are they doing with the project? How's the community? What were they doing during the bear when things weren't all hype? What have they been tweeting up until now? Have they been silent and then all of a sudden joining in on the hype, or have they been consistent? So those are things I'm looking at, and I'm taking this seriously because I'm freaking tired. I'm tired of watching a lot of people share some of their gains and their profits, and I just feel like I am not there. But I'm gonna do what I can with all the things that I've learned and try. And I'm just using a little bit of the profit that I've made from this all-time high of Bitcoin. I'm still keeping the major portion of my Bitcoin in, but I'm taking some of that profit to go play. I'm not putting in new money,
Right.
But I'm going to be taking that and give it a shot.
Yeah. I wish they had the clapping feature here like they do in the spaces, because I feel like if there was a soundboard, like I would probably use it pretty often. But I agree again. Like it's just something that like to be someone in his position who is how's the company, who he's leading, he's the face of it, to make a statement like that, like
Yeah.
you have to like know and understand optics wise. Okay, this is putting myself out here to be vulnerable for people to judge, to critique, to really analyze, which could affect like, okay, the valuation of the Rect coin in this case.
Right.
Although there are, vested interest people who have like actual stake in the company the way they did that, but that's a separate conversation. But I think stuff like this, like it's just, you don't really get as excited or as hyped or as like bullish unless you've kind of like really spent like a lot of time, like he said, like 24/7. Like if you spent a lot of time in here, you can see like some of the trends that have come, that have gone, that have like companies and projects that have come and gone, who are at the high and at the low and then dissolve, and it's like it's not an easy game. Like being a business owner yourself, like it takes a lot of energy, of time, of effort, finance, navigation, pivoting, adapting. Like it takes a lot of variables, right? And so, for something like when he's doing this and he's saying this, like for me, it makes me think like, okay, there's something here that's happening, and you just need to be prepared, and you need to like do as much as you can, right? And maybe it's not investing like a lot of money, but maybe it's having a pulse on maybe one of the new platforms, so then you can like participate in that platform and kind of learn and get the repetitions. Because if you're someone who may not even know, like, okay, like, what is Hype, or what is, Rect, or what is like all these like thing like Aptos, so if you haven't explored, like it's gonna feel like a little much, right? But that's why
I suggest going to Market Cap. If you go to the Market Cap website, you can see what are some of the top performing coins are. Like, you don't have to be following the right people or me or Keegan or anybody. Just go to Market Cap and you'll see what are all the coins besides Bitcoin. What are the top performing coins? Those are.
Do you want to bring it up? Do you want to show them live right now?
Yeah, I can. Yeah, let's do it. So I already have it bookmarked. Blocked. It's blocked while I'm streaming, bro.
Whoa.
Dang.
Is that new?
Is that because of the thread guys and the GGs of the world?
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm trying to refresh. It
That's
doesn't
crazy.
let me go to CoinMarketCap. Hold on, let me make sure it works in my other browser though. Let's see. Yeah, it works. Okay, let me see if I can share it. Did it show?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So I couldn't like bring it up while I was sharing the tab for some reason.
Interesting.
It blocked it. We're giving away too much alpha. They're watching us. Jeez. Okay, so here we go. Look, trending coins. Okay, we have Pengu. I don't know what the is, but we've heard of Bonk, Shib, Say. Like, these are some good ones, right? Do some research. We know who's behind Pengu and what they're doing. Okay. Another one, Doge, right? So here we go. We have Ethereum. Look, Ethereum is up while Bitcoin is coming back down. So that is a little strange. That are some signs. That could be a potential sign that when there is pullback on Bitcoin and Ethereum is still going up, there's rotation happening, right? So here you go. You have XRP. We've got Tether, So if people are putting money into stable coins, preparing to buy altcoins, that's a sign. BNB, Sol. Here's another one, another stable coin, USDC, Doge, Tron, Cardano, Hyperliquid.
So those two, I want to point. Those three out. I just want to point those out.
These are the ones.
Like Hyperliquid, Cardano, and Sui. Like these are things. In my opinion, these are things to like watch, right? Like, and I can't even like go in depth on all of them, but it's just like when you see the trends and you see the timeline and you've spent time, like, we have friends that are in Cardano, like that have a Cardano group here in San Diego, and like learning more about what they're doing and like everything that Charles Hoskins, one of the founders of Cardano, like it's more decentralized. And even though it doesn't always get like the spotlight and street cred like maybe other blockchains, I do think they're going to be a big player. It's gone from 59 cents last week to now 74 cents. Sui is at $4 now. Like we've went to events, that they've had here in San Diego, that you've had Sui as a sponsor at some of your events. Like, so we've explored some of that blockchain. There's the gaming platform that's going to come out with them. Hyperliquid is a decentralized trading. My understanding, it's a DEX, and it's pretty fluid and pretty like smooth. I haven't fully participated in it. I just know that I know Rect got recently added to it. So like, these are things just to like, in my opinion, just at least explore and be familiar with. So then that way, if you weren't able to make moves on it, at least 6 months or 5 months from now, you can look back and cry a little bit like, okay, I remember what that was like. And then for the next time, you'll be able to, all right, now let me go check this out. Now let me position. Now let me make a move. Because I feel like that's what it takes, right? You need to see a lot of things in order to grasp certain concepts, see where there's certain players in leadership that are doing things legitimately. And it's not only just like OSF, like if we go back to like the tweets where you just were showing it, like there are other people. Like I remember very clearly, like I think Luca from Pudgy Penguins, he had gone on a podcast. This might have been 6 months ago, and he was sharing his thoughts on like, okay, the NFT space and how when the bull comes back, like there's going to be very big chunks of moves that will be similar to 2021 kind of vibes. What do you mean vibes of 2021? I mean like the amount of like volume and money that would move and change from the floor price of a NFT project, where one day it may be like 0.5 ETH, and then in the next 24, 48 hours, it's at like 3 ETH. And so we just said like the cost of ETH right now is like $3,000, I think, for one. So like half an ETH, for $1,500, let's say, to go from 0.5 ETH to like 3 ETH for one NFT now, that's a pretty big jump in valuation and what it's valued at. So I don't know. I think like just sharing, just talking, just doing research and having awareness is super, super valuable, especially in this space. Like, what's the next thing? Like, where's the event? Like, even just asking questions. Like, yeah. So I could go on forever. So that's why you need to tune in to 10KTF Teaching Tuesdays later tonight so you can ask questions and talk on the X Spaces that I'm hosting.
Yeah, definitely. I will be there, but man, I think it just makes more sense now to me, at least anyways, being in it, since 2021, kind of like seeing what people are doing. And there's just a lot of noise, right? There's just a lot of noise
Yeah.
on the timeline. Half of the people saying, oh my God, we're in a pool and, get ready. Is this it? Is this it? And then you got the other half, like, who are bearish on it, saying, like, no, like, Bitcoin's the only way and you just hold and forget everything else. There's just different ways to play it, and people have different ways they feel comfortable. Some are more risk, some are more conservative, and some are more moderate, right? And so it all just kind of depends on you. You have to think about where you fall in that spectrum and to play to your strengths. If you feel like you see things early on, but then you hesitate because you're checking other people's, are they tweeting about it yet, or this or that, like, sometimes you just got to take a risk on your own gut. Like, if you found it, try it. And, you don't got to put in your whole life savings, put in 10%, maybe even 5%, right? Just something so that you can gain practice and gain the confidence.
That's how I learned. That's for a long time. Like, when I came into the space, and I don't think I shared this in the intro, I didn't really share too much, but like, I had no experience in blockchain, no experience in dev, no experience.
No, me neither.
Same for you. Yeah. So I was like learning from the ground up, and I did the 50 hours of research because that's what, Gary Vee and his community for VeeFriends, they said you should do this. Go and read. How do you read Etherscan? How do you burn an NFT? Like, what is Ethereum? How does it work? What is block? I did so much research. I was so freaking intrigued. I had never been that intrigued by anything in like a long, long, long time. And so that's why I was like, all right, I really was excited to read more and more. And then that's when I went running into like, the cafe where you were doing studying at the time. I was like, you got to do this. Remember, like, and I like was all hyped up. I was like very excited because I was like piecing together things as they were happening. And so, yeah, I think just point being is just like take some time to like give yourself to like the opportunity.
Yeah,
right?
These are opportunities that are available to anyone who has access to internet. If you have access on your computer or on your phone and you just have a little bit of money, like whether you've got 10 grand, $1,000, $100, just $10 to your name right now, like you can go and put in a little bit of something here and there. Again, not financial advice, because this should be money that you can play with, that you can afford to lose, because you got to think worst case scenario, you could lose it all. But can you still live, breathe, eat, and sleep? Like if you lost it all, right? So like, just want to make that disclaimer is, again, we're talking about money that you can afford to lose always. That's the number one thing. But if you have just a few dollars or $100 to your name, go put in $5 here, $5 there, some of these top coins, because historically, I was asking ChatGPT, let me see if I can find it here. The way that these markets perform, there's a pattern, and it has been following the pattern since Bitcoin has emerged, right? And so let me see if I can find some of the stuff. I don't want to share my whole conversation I have with ChatGPT, but there are these patterns that basically happen after every halvening, right? So for those who don't know, every 4 years, Bitcoin amount of Bitcoin that you can get as a reward for mining Bitcoin cuts in half. Okay, so that's why it's called the halvening, every 4 years. And usually the price will dip, and then it takes some time, and then it goes up. And usually when it goes up, it happens between 12 to 18 months after the halvening. Well, guess what? We are 15 months after the halvening today, I believe, and we are seeing it go on trend. So that is kind of like where that starts, is because of the halvening. Then, of course, you have the rules and regulations that are favorable towards crypto right now, especially in the US. That helps, right? Then, because of that, then you have big institutions that are buying large portions of Bitcoin and other cryptos. And then that's when you get the retail investors, people like you and I, who are like, oh, okay, I have $100. I can go and buy some Ethereum now, right? And so then people FOMO, people see all of the news. Oh, okay, these big institutions are buying a lot of crypto. Now I feel more comfortable. I'm not as scared, because if they're doing it, then I'm going to do it, right? So then they go do it. And then, of course, we also have ETFs. We just shared today that BlackRock's Bitcoin ETF is outperforming and makes the most revenue out of anything else that they hold for investors. So, like, because of all of that news combined, it's just the perfect storm. And we've seen now Bitcoin reach a new all-time high of $123,000. And what naturally happens is a pullback. As people take profits, they go into stable coins, whether that's USDT, USDC, and they're going to hold that to prepare to go into all other coins, because they know there's going to be a large gain there. So these are all things that I've been learning with, like, the information that I've seen, that I know, that I've read, and then I like put it all into the chat GPT and like have it like share it with me. And then like I said, I shared with it how much money I have and what makes sense. Like, how much percent should I take in profit and where should I diversify? So like you can
Not
do the same.
financial advice. This is just what Valerie does. This is
I'm just sharing, because it's like, again, it's like, it does suck. Like, you feel like you're missing out. You feel like everyone's making money. Everyone's gonna be sharing their profits, but not their losses. But it's gonna look like everyone's the best trader. But I think you can be using some of these simple tools that we now have with AI, right, and seeing the trends, the signals that we are sharing. It's like, how much more obvious can you get when you have the perfect storm? You have government that's in it, pro crypto, ETFs, big institutions, the halvening. There's a large demand with low supply. Like, it's just, all of it together just kind of makes sense. So it's just like, I don't know what else to say, but it's exciting. And the only way you can win is if you take the shot, right? You're not gonna, it's not gonna go anywhere if you don't even try. So if you have $100, why not put $1 into something, right? 100 different assets, put $1 maybe. I don't know. Yeah. But you don't have to have much to play and to understand and be ready when this happens again in another 4 years. But that's why OSF says it doesn't happen often, right? And so, yeah, we're seeing the signs that it's about to happen again. So there's not much time left.
It's like in Game of Thrones, like when the North like they say the North remembers, like all that stuff from before. Like, I'm just thinking, like, okay, I remember how that was in 2021. I remember like when the floor of this project was like 3 ETH and then it went to like 6 ETH. Like, I remember like how fast it moves when things are just like trading like that. Now, mind you, that was more NFTs at the time. We're talking like right now, we just looked at all these like coins and altcoins and things of that nature in general. Like, there was a lot of NFT action back then. So now it's like it's shifting, but I do think NFTs will have its time again. I think that a lot of established projects or projects that are still around, just to add what you're saying, like, they're the ones that are going to be looked at first. I think it's going to be harder for a newcomer to come in if they haven't been building community and doing outreach and going to events and spending time. Now, mind you, it depends.
You mean a newcomer as in a collector or as in a project?
No, as in like if you're going to say like, okay, I'm dropping 20,000 NFTs, come and mint my project out. Like, I think it can happen, but it needs to have like the right elements, variables in the equation, right? It's not going to be as easy where like every day there was something new minting out, trading like secondary fast.
I don't know where NFTs will go, but I'm kind of in the belief right now that like we kind of have some of our established NFTs, that those are it, right? We have our CryptoPunks, we have our Bored Apes, we have our Pudgy Penguins, right? And then like there's not much else after that. There's still some projects in the background still trying to build, still try to amplify their message.
And there's plenty of other ones, right? There's plenty of other ones. That's what I'm
saying. Like there's other ones, but I'm saying like the ones that have made it to ringing the NASDAQ, right? The bell at NASDAQ, right? Like Pudgy. You can't replicate that. Like you're not gonna see that again,
and I think that's what I'm kind of like. That's what I'm getting at, like because there are projects that are still here, continuing to like.
There can only be one Pudgy,
like
one board.
There's still projects that are like building and trying.
They're trying.
Like Doodles, VeeFriends, Rex Guy, like Oniforce. Like there's all sorts. There's all projects, but like again, I think that the way that it was in 2021 was something special. But do I think that there's going to be a lot of like movement happening on a lot of these altcoins? I do. And do I think that like some of them like that have a unique connection to some of these NFT projects? I think that's going to be like something to see.
Penguin
and Pudgy Penguins. And I do think that like once Other Side goes live, and I do think Ape Chain and all that stuff that they're building, I think that is going to be a big deal too. And it may not be getting as much attention as it did back then, but that doesn't mean that like any of these projects are down and out, because when you have community, when you have leadership, when you have an understanding of the tech and what can be in the forefront, like down the line, not just like you said, there's so much noise here right now with different things like, oh, this is SocialFi, or this is the leaderboard, or this is the points, like this is the drama. Like there's all these different things, but it's like, who are the real people actually creating and helping shape the culture and shape the narrative with the tech that are going to be big changes? Those are the things that I'm looking for. And so I think that we are having good conversations here, like to help give some awareness and some value to the people that are here watching. And I appreciate everybody that's giving some time. Make sure you follow Valerie's channel, Layers with V Dizzle on YouTube. Shout out to the people, following me on Abstract. I appreciate that. And I think we can all I think everybody can flourish and win in this, honestly, just with like asking questions.
It's totally possible. And that's why I'm willing to go over our showtime, because now we're about to hit the 2-hour mark, bro. This is the first time we're about to hit 2 hours on the show. Normally at 2 hours is reserved for spaces, but there was just so much to share. But it all mattered to paint the picture for you guys, to paint whether you've been in this for 4+ years or today is your day one. Like I felt like I just needed to put everything so it can paint this picture of people who have been advocating for it for a while. Like, you had Odell Beckham from a while ago saying, I need to be paid in Bitcoin, and he got slack for it. Because we were like, why are you going to be paid in Bitcoin? It's volatile. You're going to lose money. And then now he's like, look at me, dude. Bitcoin just hit an all-time high. Who's crying now, right? Then you have Snoop Dogg, who's been in it with NFTs, and he's still been around. You have people like OSF, who are really great traders, who know traditional finance and who know crypto finance. And he's here, and you see big institutions like BlackRock, you see Coinbase, you see other companies buying a lot of crypto to do things with, right? To hold treasuries, to hold reserves and all that. And so it's just to paint the big picture of this is here, it's here to stay, and it's only going to get louder and bigger. But when are you going to decide to ape in, to come in and participate? And with how much? Whether that's $100, or $10,000 or more, right? It's just all, what are you willing to do? But we can only lead the horse to the water. We can't force the horse to drink the water, is what I'm basically saying. But
Well,
we're
and
painting the picture.
and that's the thing, is that like there was so much skepticism for so freaking long about Bitcoin, and it's just like I think back to like those individuals that bought in early in the beginning, in year one,
Yeah.
year two, like
Right.
their conviction for them to stand on what they believe in with their mindset, their perspective, they're laughing all the way to the non-banks, if you will. You know how the same all
I
laughing all the way
mean,
to the
yeah,
banks.
people who
Like,
have diamond hands, who have been
like that's
accumulating, holding,
like that, but that's an exciting thing to hear about those stories, to like see stuff like this Odell Beckham. Oh, I got paid in Bitcoin back then when it was this amount, and like everybody, probably a lot of people in the organization and the teams probably give him a hard time, make him feel like you're dumb, this and that. To come back down and say like, all right, I told you so, or hey, check it out, do you see this? Like the individuals that said the opposite, not only do they reflect on themselves, like, dang, I was wrong. They have to own
yeah,
up to the facts, because
right.
the facts will set you free. And when you see like when Bitcoin was one price here and now it's here, for all the people that don't think it's a real thing or scams, it just continues to like shut them down and like put their excuses out the window. And it's like, I can say whatever, you can say whatever. It may not make a difference on that price, but once it comes to fruition, the market is the market, and it's going to speak
Yeah.
for itself. And people will realize now, 10 days, 10 months, or 10 years, and they'll look back and be like, "Damn, I fucking missed that," or "I wish I would have spent time. I wish I would have like explored."
Yeah.
And for me, there was no shows like There's Layers with V Dizzle back in 2021 talking and having discussions like this. In fact, there wasn't even X Spaces at the time. It was just on Clubhouse. So to even get access to the knowledge, you really had to be proactive to seek it
Yeah.
out, to ask questions, to find it. And so I
See,
think like it's becoming more normalized now. And I'm so glad that like you're leading this show and just doing what you can. And I try to help contribute as much as I can, even though I work full time during the regular school year. But it's like it can't be just influencers doing shock value and just pumping random tokens. And
right. Yeah, let me just
doing
stream
that.
all of a sudden. I'm pumped out fun. Oh my god, I found 100x, right?
Like that's not the type of value I'm talking about. I'm talking about knowledge, because knowledge is power. And if you're not spending time to gain knowledge, like what are we doing here? You just that will prepare you and at least help you be understanding, to have awareness. And so I'm not here like pumping and dumping any freaking tokens. Like I just don't have day in day out time to do day trading. But I do have time to read and understand and connect dots and see who's who and go to in real life events and kind of like size people up and see, okay, can this leader do this, or are they authentic, or are they real, or are they fake? Like those are the things that I like to try and pay attention and connect dots with.
I just want to add that, like, I hope we're painting a positive light.
I hope
Not
so.
because we have skin in the game, we have bags, we are holding bags. But I do want to say that in year one of my journey in Web3 back in 2021, in year one, I was not for Bitcoin. Or I shouldn't say that I wasn't for Bitcoin. I just refused to hear about Bitcoin. And the only reason why was because the first introduction of group of people that I had heard about Bitcoin from was from Maxis. They were very maximal about Bitcoin and that Bitcoin was the only way. And they tore me down for liking Ethereum and NFTs. That is the only reason why in 2021 I did not go and buy my first Bitcoin. So it's okay if you faded Bitcoin or whatever crypto or technology it was, but it's like, when do you finally like humble yourself and be like, okay, I'm willing to listen now. You can't ignore the signs, because that happened for me. Thank you to Oniforce, who decided to go and build a collection over on Ordinals and Inscribe. And that's when I was like, okay, I have to buy Bitcoin to buy an Ordinal NFT. And so then that's when I was like, well, I should know more about this. So thank goodness for them and their whole. Thank you to Casey Rodemeyer who created inscriptions and ordinals, right? That whole new technology where I was finally willing to be more open ears and hear about it. Because without that, I still would have associated like, everyone's just a Bitcoin maxi. But you take the time. It took some time. It took years for me to finally be here at this point. But I'm going to sit here and admit I wasn't always bullish on Bitcoin. And it had nothing to do because I didn't understand the tech or really know about what Satoshi Nakamoto's goal was. It was more so because my first introduction was to people who were Bitcoin maxis that were hating hard on NFTs and Ethereum. And I thought they were cool. And because I had seen success with NFTs, so I'm like, they don't know what they're talking about because I'm having success. And so it's just more so I think we just need to stay open-minded and be willing to hear someone out to say, hey, check out this new crypto. Check out this new protocol. Check out this new layer 1 blockchain. And don't be afraid. I think we need to stop being afraid and stop being like, we know it all or we know the one right way, because this technology is still being built by amazing developers and finding new language and new code to build bigger and better things for more people to come in. So don't hate on Sui and don't hate on Somnia. Don't hate on Bitcoin. Don't hate on Ethereum until you go and give it a try yourself first. Then go inform your opinion. But that's the only advice I will say and sit here and give, because I'm trying to prevent that from you guys, from that happening, because that's what happened to me. I was very against Bitcoin because of the people at first. But guess what? Even those maximalists, they're now open to Ethereum and NFTs now. So we've come on the other side for both of us. Thank goodness.
And it's the first touch point, right? It's like, what's your introduction to the space? Like, did you have like a good experience? Was it a neutral experience? Did you get rugged? Did you get rugged? And then now you're like, I'm done with this.
Who you talk to, how you say it.
Yeah.
Events.
All that stuff matters.
It matters.
Like, and I think that like Bitcoin is just getting to where it's like you have to respect where it's at now, and like you cannot be taken as a joke. So yeah, I'm glad that we came in when we did, and better late than never. And just another thing I want to share for like people if they want to explore is the at Real Vision, which is also something I've talked about like with Rao, and that's where I actually like, if you guys want to hear like good conversations and awareness, like people that have experience in the field, his platform, Real Vision, and that's by Raoul Pal. You've listened to him. He's someone who has done like a lot of investing, a lot of different like macro investing and trading and stuff over like in the legitimate finance sector, and is now like been advocating for the crypto sector for a long time. He's someone I trust when it comes to like connecting dots, looking at the bigger picture, looking at the market, like looking at the M2 charts, comparing to Bitcoin, all these things, and like, qualitative easy. Remember we watched the thing on him like last year at one point. Like he has good knowledge and depth to like share stuff. And so he's someone I listen to. And OSF, like those two. So OSF does a segment on there once a week now called Rect Vision. It's within the platform. And cool. So and so that's something I would recommend checking out. Because there's a lot of value. There's a lot of value in there in terms of like trying to understand things when you don't come from like A, the finance sector, or B, the crypto sector. And if you're someone who's trying to like just hear and understand, like, well, what is this? What is it this that I'm learning? Or what is happening bigger picture? And how is it affecting what's over here? And where are things at right now? And how are they going to be connected? Like, they do a pretty good job about talking about a lot of different things in the grander vision. And this is me as my professional teaching lens. Like, I think they do a good job about it discussing. They don't do like the best guided reading, but they do good discussions, which help you think and ask questions for yourself. And then that's when you start Googling and using AI and connecting dots on your own. But you have to be willing to put in some time. And so, but these are people that I would trust to kind of connect dots.
That's awesome. I have to check this out. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that. Like I said, yeah, super
And
vouch
and
for
the
OSF.
and the other
Um,
link too, like just to share it too for people that like don't know, like the other link that you have on the slide there, like there's two. There's one from this week, or excuse me, one from last week and one from the week before. In the most recent one, I think it was from July 11th, I think. They had the MeBit CEO as their guest talking with them, giving his viewpoint, giving his discussion, because he also has a legitimate background in the finance sector as well. And so it's on
oh,
the
from Bits. Uh-huh.
yeah, I put it on. I put it on the slideshow.
Yeah, I can't go to it right now, so I have to scroll through this stuff. But is it this July 11th?
I think that's a clip. Maybe that's yeah, it's a clip from it. But yeah, it's somewhere in there, like
This one?
the full episode, the
Yeah.
weekly wrap up. Yeah, that one.
Just get
Yeah.
so excited. I feel like we've been.
Okay.
No,
So
no,
you're
no,
saying
no, it's
you
not that
recommend?
one. Sorry, it's not that one. It's the Rec Division one. It's on the slideshow that I made for you.
Okay, yeah, I can't get to that right now. That's what I'm saying. So that's what
Okay.
I was trying to find down the timeline.
Yeah,
But yeah, I think people get the gist of it. So follow at Real Vision, and you're saying they share some pretty good insight to some of the charts.
Yeah, I mean, I think like it's a platform, like it's free to use. Like if you want to like do the paid one, you can go and like get all access to this other stuff. But like the Real Vision platform, I think is pretty good because he's someone I trust, the guy Raul. But what I'm saying is that OSF, the artist that we talked kind of in depth about a little bit today, he does a segment on here once a week now. And so he does a great job about connecting it. And he, again, participates in the NFT sector.
Right.
He has a lot in the crypto sector, in the old traditional finance sector. So he does a great job of connecting dots. I think some of the other ones, I haven't watched a lot of them, but I think they do get more technical and more in depth because we've watched one or two. Remember where they have all these terms and we were looking up all the stuff that we didn't understand and know. Remember that before? So yeah, it's worth exploring.
Yes. Yeah. I'm like looking at just glancing at some of their tweets. I mean, you can see here now they're talking about Sui. They're showing the charts. Like, look at the rise happening here. Green, 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 green going up, right? And then they made a poll. Is it alt season? That's what we've been talking on the show today. 29.2% voted. Yup, send it. I voted for this. Not yet, but very soon. So 55.2% agree. So there's still a little bit of time, not a lot of time. That's what I was saying. And then 15.7% think, nope, not happening. So they have some pretty good insight, I feel like, Here's ETH. They're sharing about ETH. So they're talking about the same things we are, literally, these altcoins. And, these aren't coins that no one's familiar with. Sui, ETH. So yeah, cool. All right, let's move on in the show because we've got just a few more slides, but some other things. So don't say we didn't warn you about the altcoin season coming up. But we've got some interesting news coming from Pudgy. Pudgy has been consistently, I think, in all our episodes so far. They have not let up, dude. Okay, so here's Chef saying, I just seen concept sketches for what I believe will be the biggest Pudgy Penguins collaboration to date. Don't ask how we were able to pull it off. Don't ask me who it is. Just know it's big. Struggling to comprehend how we can even pull it off. So this was back on the 11th, just 4 days ago. And then there was a big push with a lot of these big companies on Web3. We had Coinbase, Polkadot, MoonPay, and OpenSea change their PFPs momentarily to a Pudgy Penguin. So you could see here some of the community was trying to get some of these other big corps to change their PFP, like Walmart and McDonald's. I don't think they did, but there was this trend going on. And that also reflected in the Pengu charts. Pengu has gone up. So I checked on my abstract. My Pengu tips have gone up. Thank you. I appreciate it. And so, yeah, they're just continuing to do great things. And they have recently announced that Pudgy Penguins is collaborating with Suplay. Okay, Suplay Incorporation. So they are out of China. They're a collectibles company. So we'll see what happens with them. More collectibles to come. And I seen that Luca has been ready to target the markets in China. So they are going global. So they're doing some big stuff. They're just someone to watch. It's out of my price point. I can't afford a Pudgy NFT, which is on Ethereum, by the way. They also have Lil Pudgies. Those are a lot of ETH. I think they're like at a 13 ETH floor, maybe more now, but that's what I saw last.
The regular one, not the little Pudgies, to be confused.
No, the Pudgy Penguin is like 13 ETH floor. Yeah. That's what I saw last time. So I don't know if they're higher, same, but either way, Luca and the team continues to do some really good stuff. You had something?
No, I was gonna say good for them. Like, I mean, they've continued to like expand and just they're not letting off the pedal. Like, they're continuing to make a presence. They have awareness. I did see some like back and forth of like a little bit on the timeline of people kind of criticizing, oh, they just changed their profile pic for one day.
Yeah, I mean, I did see that on the timeline saying like this was like a marketing thing. You know, they paid Coinbase and MoonPay and OpenSea to change their PFP. Even if that is so, it created momentum, in my opinion. I think okay, so like something that I think was interesting is like back in 2021 when you had DJ Khaled, Justin Bieber, Steph Curry change their profile pictures to Bored Apes. Remember how much like hype and drive there was for Bored Apes? And it was kind of like, okay, you saw all these celebrities change, and then you're kind of like, dang, that's kind of like a signal there, right? Like that's kind of like a sign.
Yeah.
Maybe I should go and take a look at this. What is happening with Bored Apes? What is this cartoon looking character, right? And I think Pudgy Penguins is showing us that it can be done again, and this time not so much with celebrities, but with big entities. Like if you start seeing Robin Hood change it to a Pengu, right? If you start seeing Van Eck change it to a Pengu, like that's kind of like such a bullish signal, not just for the collection and their holders, but for the entirety of Web3. So I don't see why people would hate. I think they're just jealous, and it's okay because shit, I wish I was a Pudgy Penguin holder, but I'm not. But hey, I can hold some Pengu, so just go get Pengu. That's the best you can do if you can't afford whole NFT. So
yeah, I mean that's where it's at. Like, and I just think that like that's what I was saying earlier is like there needs to be new participants in the Web3 field, if you will. Like otherwise it's the same groups of individuals, individuals like circling over and over. Like it's the same people. Like no new entrants are coming in. It's not going to help. Like people need to bring in new people, whether that's through little toys, whether that's through the energy drinks, whether that's through a metaverse, right, whether that's through a cultural clothes, like whatever it may be, trading cards, Chrome's top, like it doesn't, like there needs to be, somebody needs to proactively be thinking about that and doing that. Otherwise, guess what? You can say, oh, hi, we did this and we did that. No, well, we did this and we did that. Like, what the F is that going to do to help move the space forward? It's not going to do anything. It's just going to waste time and energy. Again, this is the noise and the drama, in my opinion, that does not actually have the substance to actually have the momentum as you talked upon. And so it's like, those are the things that I think are very meaningful, which will help change this space, the Web3 blockchain, NFT, crypto space for the good. When you're having big moves like that to get brand IP out to new eyes and new ears where people are willing to A, listen, B, have curiosity, and C, actually take the time to explore. If you're not doing those three things, then you're just circling around here with the same group of people. And so I think people
Gotta
need to
stay
actually
open-minded.
acknowledge that. They need to acknowledge that and think about that. How are they doing that to bring people in? So, well, time will tell, and we'll see. And like, there's only so much like mind share and energy you and I and everybody in the audience has for them to give. And so it's like, where are you going to give your time and energy to? Is it going to be project A, project B, project C? Well, it's going to be whatever they connect with, whatever they vibe with, and that's where
Yeah,
they're going
pudgy
to.
penguins, they're cute. I mean, no, I have a mutant ape, but they're not the most cutest looking PFP. So, people usually resonates towards dogs and cats because they're cute, little baby animals. They're cute. These penguins are pudgy. They're cute. So I can see why like people are going to be drawn towards them, whether it's the plushie or it's a token or the NFT or whatever have you. So,
And I'm not holding either, full disclosure. And let's
you
not.
don't hold Pengu either?
No, I don't hold a pudgy penguin or mutant ape.
NFT.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't hold the NFT. Yeah. All right. So let's continue on in the news because we are over our 2 hours now. Thank you so much to everyone who is still here sticking with us.
I hope they're following. I hope they gave you a follow at least.
I hope so too. I would appreciate it. Go follow on YouTube. But I'm sure many of you have already seen this, but if you're not on Twitter all day, you probably haven't then. But Elon released Grok 4, and Grok 4 has been pretty insane. And that's for game developments, but also the companions. So with Grok 4, people have been able to make these really cool prototypes with these games, with the code. It's getting so good that builders have started to put some pretty cool games together. So Grok 4 has the capabilities of doing that. I recommend to go check out this tweet if you want to go see what people have been building. But they share some examples in their threads of some of the cool assets that they've been able to do just with typing, okay? So Grok has been able to put all these assets together, and you didn't have to do anything other than just type what you wanted to see. So these are all things that Grok has the capability of doing now, which it is getting smarter and stronger. But Grok is also getting a lot sexier because Grok has also released what they call a companion. You can turn on the companion feature and you get this waifu anime looking girl to spice up your AI experience. So it's so funny because I thought this was funny. Bored Elon Musk said, Elon, people are not having enough kids. And then also Elon, Grok now has digital companions. And so I've been seeing a lot of funny videos that are coming from this, over-sexualizing, this anime girl. But hey, if it's bringing more people to the platform, making more people stay on it longer, interact with it more. But yeah, you got to be careful because if you're sharing your most inner thoughts, think about the data. Who is that data going to and where are they distributing it to, if anywhere? They're just collecting more information on you and they know what you like. So turn it on, turn it off, whatever floats your boat. But yeah. Have you messed with Grok 4 at all, Keegan?
I haven't seen this. I think you can only get this if you have Grok Heavy, which Grok. There's different levels to it. There's different layers to it, if you will. I haven't explored this. Like, I think they're doing stuff like X in general, like stuff like that. It creates a buzz, it creates attention, and people are going to talk about it, and that's what they want. Because then people are going to explore, people are going to ask questions, people are going to kind of go and check it out. I mean, I think that having that kind of stuff, companions, AI agents, however we want to call them, that's coming around. This is me taking note again to signals and optics. This is coming around. AI agents, companions, call them what you will. That's going to be a thing. There's no two ways about it. It's going to take on different form factors. It's going to be around us. It's going to be normalized. Siri has not been cutting it for these years. Sorry, Siri. You can say what you want. I tried to ask for help on my iPhone with Siri just the other day.
You did,
I don't know
yeah.
what the freak.
Siri's not
so
good.
like, talk about the biggest fumble. Like Apple's had the biggest head start. Maybe
Right.
because Steve Jobs doesn't have his hand in it anymore. R.I.P. to him. Even though people also feel certain ways about him, you still can't you still can't deny the tech. But yeah, I think that they got a little sloppy and not really fully capitalizing on that. But AI agents in themselves are going to be here in full force in
They're
some way,
here
shape,
to
or form.
stay.
And this
Yep.
is again is another tell to that. They don't even imagine once they start integrating the payments and any type of crypto into this platform, like X Money, X Pay, like something of that nature is gonna happen. And if now they have the crypto, they have the AI agents, like there's some stuff happening with that. Go check out Uniforce. Go check out Ava. Go check out all that stuff. But like these are things that are patterns that I'm seeing little slivers of, and these are just things to just watch and see what happens. Like, and if there's a move to make and you can have some arbitrage, do it.
Not only that, but I think go on unleash your creativity. If you're someone who is at a job and is unhappy with what you're doing, go use AI to unleash your creativity. Maybe you create something that you're really passionate about, you fall in love, and you want to build out more, and you don't need to know code because AI allows you to just type up your vision, what you imagine, and it builds it out all for you. So that's what I will say to those who like don't know what to do with AI is if you're not just going to interact with it like it's your new Google search, then also like try out unleashing your creativity. Go make some really cool video, go make some really cool app, and maybe it helps the rest of humanity. That's all I got to say on that.
That's the thing, right? It's not going to be just one finite thing. It's going to take on different sizes, different shapes, different flavors. It's going to be art. It's going to be coding. It's going to be companions. It's going to be like crypto related. Like there's going to be all sorts of layers to it, if you will. And so I'm glad that we're at least talking about it, acknowledging it, because yeah, it's going to come fast, I think, too. Once really things really get solidified.
Yes, let's get on with the news here. So we've got Base. Base is having their on-chain summer. So speaking of, if you are into developing but you do know code and Base is launching their on-chain summer, which is basically where if you build it on Base, you launch it, you can be rewarded. So they're gonna be rewarding some of the most used apps on Base if you go build it there. So yeah, if you go use AI and then maybe bring it on Base, maybe you can go get rewarded and make a lot of money over there. So I forget how much money and rewards they're giving, but you can go check it out. Just follow Base and you'll see this big picture called On-Chain Summer. And yeah, Base keeps just building with Brian Armstrong. So I noticed that they hit a $100 billion market cap right here. So this was someone who was saying congratulations to everyone at Coinbase. 100 billion market cap is a lot of zeros, and Brian Armstrong replying saying thank you. And I think that's not just for anything. That's because they've been consistently building, helping with regulation, with the House and the Senate. We just heard that they're going to be building a wallet for Farcaster, doing rewards and incentives over there. They're providing over-the-counter trades for some of these big institutions with Coinbase Prime. They're building Coinbase Business. There's a lot of things happening on Coinbase. It is a centralized market, but that is where the majority of people who don't want to take a deeper dive into the tech and understand how it all works, they're going to go towards something that is user-friendly, that just makes sense. They have a couple of clicks. They don't need to know how everything works behind the scenes. So 100 billion market cap, and those are some pretty bullish signs. So congratulations to them. And in other news, out in the crypto policy world, if anyone has been following, So the U.S. House just passed Bitcoin and crypto market structure bill for floor debate consideration. And so this was today at 6:13 a.m. and there has been developments since then. Let me see if I can bring it up. If I find it, let's see. Let me share this tab.
I did see what's his face
No, it's not this one.
retweet from Stand with Crypto.
I think you changed or deleted one of my slides.
Which ones?
Oh yeah, you did. You changed it. Okay, so this is the slide. Let me can you guys see it? Can you see the crypto policy layer?
Subcommittee hearing exploring bipartisan legislative frameworks for digital asset marketing structure.
So yes, you can see it.
Maybe those other images underneath haven't loaded, but maybe if you go full screen.
No, yeah, that's what I want you to see.
Yeah, there you go. It's good.
Yeah. Okay, so what's happening and what has been happening, and we've been live here, so I haven't really seen what's happened since. But if you remember a few shows back, I had talked about how Cynthia Lumen from the House was having this subcommittee hearing with all of these participants, right? So we even have the vice president of legal from Coinbase. We had the general counsel from Multicoin Capital and these other two, right? And they were all talking about how there needs to be framework for the digital asset market, right? There needs to be structure. And so since then, this was like maybe 2 shows ago, I want to say. Since then, there's been a couple of different headlines. So the Clarity Act went to voting in the House today, actually, this week. And there was just like positive news coming out of it. It looked like it was going to pass. But then breaking news happened right before we went live on the show, and it did not pass, which everyone was shocked. Like everyone thought it was going to pass, but a lot of Democrats and some Republicans ended up voting against it. And I think that some of the feeling was that there still wasn't enough verbal, it wasn't as clear, right? It wasn't as clear for the market structure. They still found some holes that they felt like they can poke through that could be harmful with security and structure. So I had heard that they were going to go back and talk about it, and that it was going to be revoted on today again in a few hours.
Oh, wow.
I don't know if that has or has not happened. Can probably check the timeline to see what's happened, but it's still the debate and the conversations were still not over. They still needed to happen. And I do remember Cynthia Lumen saying when she was having this subcommittee hearing was that she felt that it became a partisan perspective. Originally, it was supposed to be bipartisan, where it was supposed to be everyone wins, Republicans, Democrats, and everyone in between. But then somehow it became more partisan. And I think that's kind of where they really lost some of the votes there. There was, I think, about 13 Republicans who voted against it. So, which is okay. I think like you want to make sure that they pass something that everyone's happy with and that it will help the majority of Americans, whether you are an individual, an entrepreneur, or a business. So that way people just have more clarity on how they can participate and what they can do. Can they buy it? Can they store it? Can they trade it, etc.? So yeah, that's kind of what's happened there. Anything on that, Keegan? Did you see any new updates on that?
Yeah, so I saw that Mason, shout out to Mason from Stand with Crypto, the community director. I saw that he tweeted out, this was 2 hours ago, right before like we had started, and it said, Congress sends lawmakers home with a vote on key, he quote tweeted this news interview. It said Congress sends lawmakers home with a vote on key crypto bills. The Genius Act of Market Structure and the Anti-CBDC Acts are stalled. Trump is now pushing for a standalone vote on stablecoins later this week. So, yeah, I think at the minimum, like I hope, those stable coin things get resolved, because I think that's a pretty important. I mean, it's all important. Like, it's honestly all important. Like, we don't want to have a centrally controlled coin from the government. Like, we also want to make sure that like stable coins are getting some structure, so that there's no more like enforcement of law by actions, and like making things up as you go. Like, there needs to be some guidance, plain and simple. Like, I hope it gets resolved sooner than later.
Yeah, and I understand that, and I think that's what was kind of being I don't know if I want to say snuck into the bill, but that there was potential for a central crypto here in the US, which of course we don't want central, we want decentralized things. So it makes sense. Part of me is kind of glad about it. Obviously they're gonna talk about it again, but on the positive side, they have passed a new I think they say a rule where these bills can be start I'm getting tongue tied. These bills can be discussed now on the floor, is what I'm trying to say. Before, I think there had to been some sort of protocol before it can get to the floor, but now they just passed a rule allowing that. So that's really good. That's awesome. And then lastly, something that I saw that was interesting on the timeline was about Pump.Fun. So Pump.Fun had launched its coin called Pump. And to my understanding, I didn't participate, but you had to give a little in order to get back. And there was some criticism on what you were going to get back if you had helped fund the token. And so in their little, small print, it was saying that you could get between 100 to 2,000 in Pump token if the project exceeded to 10 million. And so we have Easy here laughing out loud saying, nah, wait, the max rewards for airdrops are $2,000. People, myself, believed we'd get a hyper liquid like stimmy. Instead, we're getting a kickback that's less than my daily trading bot rewards. This cannot be real. So yeah, we definitely had some people criticizing on that. Some other people are saying, well, hey, back then people would be thankful that they got any airdrop. And so maybe people are getting a little stingy here. Pump is now live from what I know. And on the positive side of things is that the SEC has dropped the investigation with Polymarket. So Polymarket is a platform where you can go and bet on things such as like the election that had happened, and people had speculated on who would win, and people who speculated right won a lot of money. And so here's Shane Copeland, who is the CEO of Polymarket. He says, 8 months ago on election night, we were on top of the world after Polymarket called the election. 8 days later, the FBI broke down my door at 6 a.m. and took all my computers and phones, looking for anything that could imply foul play. While traumatic, it etched the story of Polymarket's accuracy and the ensuring resistance into the history of American politics. And today, I'm happy to announce that this chapter of the story is over. After cooperating and engaging, we've been cleared of any wrongdoing. Justice prevailed. God bless America. So Polymarket probe ended by Department of Justice in win for crypto bets under Trump. So there you have it. So we got Pump.Fun and Polymarkets. I would say to some platforms that are for betting and gambling, if you will, people losing a lot of money, but also making a lot of money. So just some interesting headlines I wanted to share. But I think that wraps it up. Any comments on that before we close out the show?
I did not participate in the Pump That Fun, whether that was the pre-TGE or like I didn't do any of it. Just something just to see and note of, like. And yeah, that's interesting about the Polymarket thing. I didn't know that, so that's good to know that. I did get the invitation for the after party thing for the base.
Okay. Oh yeah. So let's go into that. Let's talk about some of the upcoming events that is coming up. Let me share my screen again. So we've got a new day one. We've been sharing this pretty consistently over the past few weeks, which is an event going to be by Base. We had talked about Base is going to be launching and showcasing some new products, and it sounds like they're going to be integrating with a decentralized social media platform called Farcaster, and maybe some other new features on there. We'll see. But yeah, it's going to be taking place in LA. Sounds like Keegan and I were accepted to their private party, so maybe we'll go. Maybe we'll get to talk to some cool people if we go and get some insights on what everyone is up to. So that's coming up. And then besides that, we've got Friends with Benefit Fest happening August 1st through 3rd in Idlewild, California. Am I saying that correctly? Idlewild?
Idlewild.
Yeah. Okay. I don't know. All right. So yeah, so that's going to be taking place, and it is Web3 related, but they're trying to make it more like festival vibes with music and performers, entertainment, but also some really good conversations happening in Web3 there. And then we're going to be at Rare Evo. Rare Evo is coming up here around the corner, August 6th through 10th in Las Vegas. You can use code REDRUG in all capital letters, REDRUG, for 10% off your tickets. So I do get a little kickback if you do go use the code. I would appreciate it. It's not much, but it's something. But either way, we will be there. And if you're going to be there, Keegan and I are looking to do interviews and get some video content. So if you're interested, reach out to us in our DMs. And then, of course, I think it's on a different slide. I think it's on one of the first slides. But I had a slide about Bored Apes. Where did that go?
I didn't see that. I don't know.
Bro, you switched all my things around. So I'm like,
I never saw the Bored Ape one.
This one? Oh no, there's a lot. I had posted all these Bored Ape things. I had dedicated a whole slide to Bored Apes. It's okay. Either way, Keegan and I are gonna go to Ape Fest. So Bored Apes had launched their tickets for Ape Fest yesterday, and because I have a mutant, I was able to get in. And not only was I able to secure a free ticket for myself, but we were able to get a ticket for Keegan. So here is my X account. This will be our first official Ape Fest. They were quite expensive, just transparency. That's what it was. But, you know, we don't know if this is going to be one of their last or what, but it is going to be in Las Vegas. So we will be there. And not only that, I also was able to secure a complimentary ComplexCon ticket, which gives me premier ticket access, which means I get to cut the line. So they only gave me one ticket. So I believe if you know an ape holder, you're able to get a discount. So keep a lookout. They haven't said how you can go get that and how much the discount will be just yet, but I'm sure it will be coming out in the next few days. But Ape Fest is taking place in October. So yeah, so those are some of the events we will be at. And yeah, we're excited to see. Oh, here it is. I found it. Yeah, you moved it to the end.
I don't remember touching this one. I didn't remember seeing this. That's why I didn't resize it, but okay.
Well, yeah, because it's over here at the end. But yeah, so this was just some of the news. And also something about with the Bored Apes is that one of the athletes who is a Bored Ape holder won in the recent cup. So we have Reese James, who was part of the winning team for the FIFA Club World Cup. So pretty cool there. And I guess that's his mutant that he has. So maybe we'll see him at APES. That would be kind of cool. We could. So we shall see. But those are some of the Web3 events we're looking to be at. We hope to see you there. And if you can't make it, you can betcha that Keegan and I will do our best to get some video content and try to go live at these IRL events so you can see what's happening. Oh, I heard an echo. Did you change something, Keegan?
I didn't, but I think my computer is bogging down. Something's up. I don't know. The internet.
Uh-oh. Well, I think that's a signal we need to end our show here because we've gone way, way over time. But thank you so much to our sponsors, 10KTF Teaching Tuesdays. He's going to have his show, I think, today in just a couple hours because it's already 5. And, of course, shout out to his personal brand, Ground Game Strong, and to Red Rug Edutainment, where you can experience the fun of Web3 through media and IRL events. So with that, thank you, Keegan, for joining us today on the show, and for everyone else who has tuned in and who has subscribed and followed and liked and reshared. We appreciate the support. Don't get paid to do this, but yeah, we just appreciate anyone who is gaining value out of this show. So yeah, we do it because we love it, and we spend a lot of time on the timeline, and we might as well share all the things that we see for you guys, and hopefully that it's digestible. I know that we've gone 2.5 hours, and that is not really digestible for the average person, but thank you so much if you hung around this whole time, and if not, thank you so much for popping in and supporting. We hope you gain some experience and some education that helps you on your Web3 journey. And we hope to see you again next Tuesday for Layers with VDizzle. All right. Well, thank you guys so much, and we'll see you next time.
Thanks,
Bye.
guys. Appreciate the support.